diving for the pylon. And a touchdown. Here's the snap and fourth down. Rush is on. Love looking off his back foot. Throws to the left side.
Yes!
Tavian Wicks makes a leaping catch at the 30-yard line number. First down, Green Bay. There is your dagger.
And a Thanksgiving Day to remember. And what about a double order of leftovers? Thought we left something there in 2023 on Turkey Day. Jordan Love did. He forgot that Fox turkey leg. So he had to go 3 legs, 4 TDs to grab another and a sweep of the Detroit Lions for the first time since 2020. How sweep it is to take out Detroit. Armen, if you're going to be, and this is no BS, welcome in, welcome all, and welcome into our Black Friday edition. Luddy is here. It's no BS on the game, 1070 the game, Madison. As the score in Appleton, Oshkosh. Hey, as you're out grabbing a bunch of hot deals today.
Hot deals, man. Get those TVs.
Being a part of brick and mortar success everywhere.
But please don't tackle any old ladies. Don't tackle any kids.
Don't even have to worry about that anymore.
Do what you got to do. But do what you got to do. So I guess my advice is sort of contradictory. Do what you got to do, but don't hurt anybody while you're getting there, right?
You don't even have to worry about that, Armen. Now they're actually giving people stuff to go to stores on Black Friday.
Let's go.
What you remember is the days of yesteryear where we would have been lined up for the last 2 hours
to get all our
trying
stuff.
to get a Vizio at Target with our dads.
Right.
To save, the $64 on that TV that we probably could have bought all throughout the year. But that $60 was $60. We're saving that money. We're going to wait till Black Friday to get that TV. And it's part of the story. And it is one of my favorite days of the year is to be here today and to be able to do it. To be able to do it with a win in the back pocket.
It's good, Billy. It's a
percentage points back in the NFC North, but just biding time.
I messed up yesterday.
Before the Birds have a couple of droppings on the Bears later on here today at 2:00. And the Packers will wake up on Monday morning, first place in the NFC North, and have swept the Detroit Lions for the first time since 2020. And they do it yesterday by out-lionsing the Lions.
Oh, my goodness.
That was delicious yesterday. Even better than a perfectly juicy slice of turkey breast that you'd be able to enjoy right there on your plate.
You like the white meat, not the dark meat?
I grabbed that turkey leg on that dark meat. I'm equal opportunist last night when the leftovers hit my plate.
Dark meat can be a little more savory and juicy, good for soups. The white meat is obviously good for sandwiches and good for just general eating as long as it's juicy, as long as it's cooked right. Hope everyone had a great day. That must have felt great to eat that Thanksgiving dinner after a big win like that. I know it felt great for Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. They got that slow-mo of him eating the turkey last night
with some sauce that he said was highly improved turkey.
He's like, it's a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. We'll play that audio later because he wanted the sauce on that turkey, and they brought the sauce, and he brought the sauce yesterday. And it's funny, Billy. A couple weeks after, some people were saying, Micah Parsons, what has he done the last couple weeks? Well, he done it the last couple weeks, and he brought it. So I hope everyone's feeling good today. Hope everyone had a great turkey day yesterday. I know the Packers did. Hope you spatchcocked your turkey like the Packers did to the defense. You guys know about that?
You need to
spatchcock the turkey.
Backbone right on out.
Billy knows. It's kind of what the Packers did to the Lions secondary yesterday, Billy. Spatchcocking or butterflying is the cooking method where the poultry's backbone is removed to flatten it for more even and faster cooking. Remove the backbone. That's Christian Watson on the deep route. Take the backbone out. That is Dontavian Wicks. All across, crossing all day.
Crossing. Ah!
The most important play of the game, obviously, and Billy, flattening the backbone. And the Packers love doing that to defenses if they can. And it's getting harder and harder in today's NFL. But you saw yesterday how they're going to refuse to give up trying to do that. They're like, we're going to take every shot and any opportunity we can to get an explosive play. And yesterday it paid off because of all the man the Lions were playing, I think, Billy, gave them chances. So on 3rd and short, 4th and short, 3rd and manageable, 4th and manageable, they're like, we're not just playing to get first downs today. We're not playing to control clock today. We're not just going to run, take our field goals, and warm the plane up and get out of here today. No, we're going to attack the Lions with vigor, with all gas, no break. We're going to try and puncture them deep whenever we can. We're going to try and go after them. We're going to go on 4th downs. We're not going to settle for field goals. Matt LaFleur felt like he walked into this game and said, I'm not leaving anything on the table. I'm going to win or lose this game by being Dan Campbell, or at least trying to out Dan Campbell and say, I'm going to be aggressive. He said he didn't think twice about the fourth down late in the game. They decided that on third down, as you know, Billy. They talked about that, which I like that we had a plan. I mean, we can talk about the decision all day, but there was a plan in place. The Packers were able to execute the plan, which doesn't always go your way, even though if you have a great laid plan, made the plays they need to on offense and defense, and got the win on Thanksgiving.
Well, and also just that last point, Armen, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yes.
And it would have been a very tough catch. He's got coverage all around him in Brian Branch on the third down play. But it feels like you get punched in the face when it feels like a little bit of a drop by Christian Watson there on that third down play. And I'll admit it right away at 6:07. Your boy was ready to punt. You and I are in this room over here saying,
we're in there.
I said, send it away.
And I would have agreed mostly.
Let me see them try to go 90 on this defense with Micah Parsons eating the way he was and salivating, knowing that sauce in the turkey leg was coming. 2.5 sacks yesterday.
Yeah, because he was playing well. The rush was playing well. So he felt pretty good about that.
However,
Jameson Williams made me nervous. Yeah.
Matt LaFleur talked about it there, talked about it in the after the game, and we're going to hear it later on. He said it felt a lot like the Arizona game in which they decided that they were going to go for it on fourth down and throw the corner to Tucker Kraft and set up the game-winning score. And there's a style that you have to play in a certain fight that you find yourself in. And I wonder if the league is starting to feel that when you go and take on Detroit, you have to beat them at their own game to take them out. Because this is going to be the way Campbell's going to play. You're going to have to play 4 downs. You're going to have to play aggressive, and you're going to have to try to maximize every possession and live in the emotion of the game. Right after a turnover on downs, 2 plays later, you take a deep shot to Christian Watson, 50-plus yard touchdown pass to go up 2 scores.
Boom.
You have to flirt with the aggression, and you have to be able to try to take subtle dagger shots. So as Wayne Larrabee said before that final fourth down play, with the dagger drawn, you can deliver the final hammer. Yeah. And there's a lot of good wounds in there that the Packers were delivering and slices and jabs to the Lions. I thought none bigger, though, as you mentioned, how they continually were going to push the football down the field and not allow any bit of separation to be an issue. Like Jordan Love was going to fit that ball in wherever he felt like he needed to yesterday. Yeah. He started rolling. I believe at one point he's 11 of 22. Folks that can check my math on that, I believe that's 50%.
Yeah, around there.
He finishes the game in the final 20-ish minutes, I believe, with 3 incompletions, one of which a drop to Watson.
And he had kind of
he heats up. Yeah. He heats up.
He heated up, right.
And immediately grabs. You can talk about as many completions as Jared Goff was able to have. Quarterback rating, an interesting stat. Jared Goff's was better yesterday. However, he had 15 consecutive completions. The first incompletion, the one bad pass in there to Jameson Williams. Love was best when he needed to be on some of the biggest throws of the game, including both TDs to Dontavian Wicks, are fit into a phone booth, Armen.
Yeah, incredible.
Exceptional job yesterday offensively.
Absolutely. And he had sort of a average start. He didn't start off hot in the game, but it did feel like at one point Jordan Love put the apron on and said, now it's time to cook. And I'm going to start cooking now. And this is on the heels of him only being 2 weeks away from I'm blanking now. You're not Damian Woody. Our boy
Canty.
Chris Canty calling him bad. Yep. Bad. He's a bad player.
3 games ago.
He's a bad player and will cost Matt LaFleur's job. Well, yesterday he wasn't bad, nor did Matt LaFleur's job look in jeopardy at all yesterday because he did his thing yesterday. Jordan Love had a fantastic game, 4 touchdowns. Most importantly, Billy, no interceptions. That was a game yesterday where turnovers were going to be at a premium. They didn't happen at all. And if you were going to have a takeaway in that game, you were going to greatly increase your chances of winning. However, the Packers did get the 4th down stops. And those are as good as a takeaway, Billy, as you know, right? Prevents points, turns the ball back over. And the Packers got a lot of those, and it sure felt like them. But preventing the turnovers and trying to get them was going to be one of the most important parts of the game yesterday. Neither team turns the ball over much. Neither team did yesterday. Although, let's shout out to your boy. Was it Rasheed Walker, I want to say? Recovering that fumble. That was one of the biggest plays in the game when big old boy jumped on that turkey leg. Right, he saw that thing. He's like, "This is my last meal. I'm jumping."
Best thing is, didn't even jump on it. What happens is when the ball is in the air, it bounces to him, and then you're so nervous and scared.
Right.
The last thing you can do is mess up. So I'm going to get down as soon as possible.
Let me ask you,
Actually, Rasheed Walker probably could have fallen forward and gotten the first down, but my man said,
Right?
I'm taking zero risk. I have this ball. I'm going to cradle it very, very comfortably.
Smart.
I'm going to tuck myself right here, and we're going to earn that first down on the next play and live to see another one.
Because it was a weird situation. It was like a 2nd and 7. Dobbs had gotten it, but then fumbled back. So it turns out to be like a 3rd
And it
and 1.
bounces perfectly into Rasheed Walker's awaiting arms that aren't actually open. It just hits him in the chest. He's like, look what I found. Look what I found. Sweet. Oh, this is important. I'm going to hold on to this. And you need to get fortunate bounces. The Packers got a couple of very, very fortunate ones yesterday.
That's how the game goes. A small margin.
Just like timing is everything, and the ball being in Dontavian Wicks's possession, full possession, by the way.
Yeah, come on. He was transferring the ball. Didn't you
Full
hear the
possession,
pool report
by the
yesterday?
way.
Well, it's just receivers are just that good.
They're that good.
That's what the pool report from the officials was. Listen, I didn't know for sure at first what was going on, but the second angle did look better for the Packers, but he had the ball.
The second angle looked a lot better. Listen, I'd say it this way, and this will be the only thing we say about the officiating crew. And I put it out in the middle of the fourth quarter yesterday. They deserved canned cranberry sauce only yesterday for their Thanksgiving meal, for their effort yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, they were warm ass on both sides. Like, it was terrible throughout. However,
I'm glad you said both sides.
I thought
there was some things to be desired both ways. Yeah.
Now, did the Packers get some of the biggest calls? Absolutely so. But they totally got that one right on that timeout. Yeah. Awesome.
Now, I thought
that was sweet.
I thought Watson was interfered with. They didn't call it.
Didn't call that one. Didn't call that one.
They never call holds on Micah, which is fine. That's a different deal.
Both sides.
But that's a different deal. I know offensive linemen blocking and things like that. But
you got hands on something.
Now, be honest.
What are you supposed to do?
Let me ask you this, Billy, before we move on any farther. Can you be honest with me? As a former, you played guard and tag. You played multiple offensive line positions. Mm-hmm. Ball bounces to you. On a national television game, you're that close to the goal. How bad did he think for a second? I want to run with this ball. I'm a running back. And the who was that? I'm sure you played running back at one point. I
think Jordan said that. I'm gonna guess with that body size and frame, Rasheed Walker's always been over that weight.
Like, I know there's an idea, right?
Buddy, you had a lot of youth experience as well as high school and college. I'm guessing he struggled to be under the 160. That it is for 8th grade, right? Or is it 130 in 8th grade even?
It's 120 as far as I remember. It was 120 for 6th grade, 140 for 7th, and then 160 for 8th grade. A lot of you big boys are, let's just say it, big boys from the beginning.
Big old boys.
Yeah. It's rare that a running back transitions to center.
I think I was over the much more than a center transitions to wide receiver at some particular point.
Good luck with that.
You can get out there.
There's an idea that, like, okay, NFL players were their best player in high school, which means they played quarterback and running back. Same with baseball players that all played shortstop growing up. I know there's that notion and that idea. I do think there's some exceptions, and some of these big old boys, like Rasheed Walker's probably an exception.
Yeah, they had him blindsiding people where he took him to the bus. He was ready to go, coach. He's been doing that since he was like in 6th grade.
Yeah, I mean, he's not Jared Lorenzen out here. He's the one big
or Vita Vea, right? Like everyone thinks like, he was 300 pounds. He played running back. Yeah, that guy is an alien fighter. All right, we're going to make sure that we hold on to him in cases of emergency.
Gilbert Brown told me in high school when he was at, I think, McKenzie in Detroit, he wanted to play. He was on the D-line, obviously. Gilbert Brown, he wanted to play fullback, too. He told me he wanted to, and he thought he could have done well. But unfortunately, Jerome Bettis was on that side of the ball, so they couldn't. They already had a fullback.
There was a big son of a gun a couple of years behind me, Luddy, Janesville Craig,
Parker?
Maybe Janesville Parker kid. Sun Prairie dude, Craig Evans.
Okay.
Craig Evans.
Big defensive tackle recruit in the state of Wisconsin. He went to Michigan State, was potentially going to be playing at Wisconsin at one particular point.
Michigan State, and I think I see him here.
Ended somewhere else.
Oregon State, maybe?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yep.
My man lined up at running back or in tailback in a playoff game, and it was one of the scarier things I'd ever seen.
Oh, there's a picture of him carrying the ball at Sun Prairie.
Yeah, 100% at Sun Prairie, yes.
That's a problem.
It was a Sun Prairie McGuanago game. Him and another very famous high school player in the state of Wisconsin, Dominic Kazauskas, were
I remember him.
We were the two players in that game. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was one of the best high school football games I had ever seen played in the stands. But this one there, Packers are 2-0 against the Lions in 2025.
Amazing. I mean,
have you heard anything from our friends to the east?
Well, in terms of, I hear him complaining on Twitter today.
Okay.
I mean, I know. Did you check in yesterday with any of those?
I was tapping in heavily. Listen, you understand, and folks that listen to this radio show know, I love misery radio.
Oh, yes.
As much as I hate doing the shows after our teams lose, I enjoy it so thoroughly going and listening to other people do what we do in the moments in which they hate the most. And yesterday I got to hear this young man on 97.1 The Ticket in Detroit, which is the flagship home of the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Now, I was unable to listen to their full post-game show from the stadium, which would have been maybe even more fun. But this poor son of a gun, and credit to, I wish I had his name. I probably should have written it down at 12 o'clock at night last night while I was listening.
Bill from Grand Rapids. I'm just making up. I don't know.
No,
Jerry
from
Grand Rapids.
young man did 5 hours solo on Thanksgiving.
My man. Okay, so it wasn't like a caller. I
No,
thought it was
the host.
I see, the host.
He was awesome. I was loving every minute of it. I listened to a decent amount, intermittently while I was falling asleep. And listening to callers say, if only our GM wanted to win like the Eagles GM, maybe we could have won a Super Bowl. That's the difference between our team.
Man,
Nick
it's like their window closed, huh?
Is measured with his gambles. That's why he won a Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. Nick Sirianni's measured.
The envy of everybody else in football, when they got a really good thing going, just hit a couple of speed bumps known as the Green Bay Packers this year. Wow, they're ready to throw everything out, Armen. It's like they haven't been good in 3 decades. They don't know that this is how it happens. When you're the big dog and you've been built up and barking at the top of the hill.
That's part of this
for
process.
years and years, enjoying and living it up. Somebody's going to come up there and try to take a bite at that dog. Somebody's going to try to, dare I say, bite the kneecaps at that dog. And a couple of big bites from this Packers defense right out of Jared Goff's
Let's go, baby.
passer rating yesterday. That's still passer rating better than Jordan Love's yesterday.
Oh, sure. Nice.
Still better than Jordan Love's yesterday.
He was cooking at one point.
Totally.
Just
15 consecutive completions before the one miss to Jamison Williams on a 4th down. There's one down that tells the story, and yesterday, the most important one. We'll talk about that. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur, Micah Parsons, Jordan Love.
And I wonder if we'll hear, how many people do you think on WIP are saying that Nick Sirianni's measured? How many? I've never heard Nick Sirianni and measured in the same sentence. I'm sorry, I can't get past that one.
They were talking about everybody there. Listen, Jim Harbaugh's name came up.
Sure, because it's the other side of the street.
We could have found a way to have that one.
Oh my god!
We could have found a way to have Jim. Like if we had Jim Harbaugh, maybe.
Meanwhile, all those fan bases are saying, "Why can't we have a guy like Dan Campbell? Why? Hey! Oh, where's my guy Wally or from Wasaki? Was it Wally or Walter?
Why can't we just dominate?
Why can't we just be like the Lions and dominate?
Why can't we just dominate like the Lions?
Now I remember. Oh, yeah. Now I just remembered that. Come on, where's Wally at? Wasaki.
Oh, it was coming up at 7.
Call in from Wasaki, the home of Anthony Pieper, Marquette legend.
The number's 877-794-1973. He or you can call us up at 877-794-1973. Talk about that Packers victory yesterday here on the game.
All the time. A tight fit right on. In the shotgun is Goff, waits for the snap. 3 receivers spread to the right. Williams to the left. Press coverage on him. Single safety high. Blitz coming. Goff looking, rolling right. Waits, throws, right side. Dropped by Jamo. Jamison Williams dropped it in the flat. And the Packers take over on downs.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
I'm Patrick Claybon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 13 kicked off with a triple header with the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. 31-24, Packers win. Quarterback Jordan Love threw for 234 yards and 4 touchdowns in the victory. In Dallas, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes threw for 261 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the Cowboys pulled off the victory, beating the Chiefs 31-28. Cowboys wideout CeeDee Lamb wrapped up 7 receptions for 112 yards. and a touchdown. In Baltimore, the Bengals beat the Ravens 32-14. In Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's return, he threw for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Elsewhere, Colts quarterback Daniel Jones has been dealing with a fractured fibula. He played through the injury during the overtime loss in Week 12 to the Chiefs. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
iHeartRadio soundtrack flashback.
Released late in 1977, Saturday Night Fever soundtrack dominated the charts in 1978. Just imagine shaking your booty on a lighted dance floor to Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
Tucker Ashcraft lines up in the backfield. Lance Mason motions to the right hand off. Darion Dupree 15-20. Dupree 25. Breaks the tackle 30. 35-40. Darion Dupree to the 50. In the clear 40. 30. 20. 10. 5. Touchdown Wisconsin. Darion Dupree 84 yards.
16 rebounds. Everyone is ready for a big postseason. But as Bill mentions, he's been very quiet in this series. Allen knocked away. Good help defense. With the big man, Scott Williams, pounding the floor for Milwaukee. Nice crossover move. Oh, really? Allen with it. Johnson, who's come out very strong in this one with his 4th rebound. Eric Snell's running game is painful to watch. Allen for 3. Philadelphia's putting some much-needed defensive pressure full court. Allen, another 3.
Be more formidable. You guys went 0-2 against Milwaukee. Would they be tougher?
Well, we went all short.
Number one is not.
Ray Allen spotting up for 3. Bang! 19 consecutive points for Ray Allen for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Allen continues to roll along with the big dog, and Allen in the corner for 3.
Ray Allen again. For Philadelphia to score on that jumper, they had to use the entire shot clock to do it. And here's Ray Allen, another 3.
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Goff 0 for 3 passing, facing 3rd and 15 at the Detroit 46. Goff in the shotgun to the setback to his left. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. And here's the snap to Goff in the pocket and sack.
There we go.
Back at the 40-yard line. The pressure all day thus far. Micah Parsons, Kingsley Enagbare.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you, and the Packers with a sweep of the Detroit Lions, a 31-24 victory. And we said I said on Wednesday, I don't want to put that on Armen Sarian because he did not necessarily like it when the words came out of my mouth of this game doesn't necessarily have to be close.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be close.
Right.
Well, it was a very interesting missed pass interference call that extended the drive.
That was a bummer.
Kept Detroit on the field.
In the moment, I was like, oh, no, I can't believe this. It was like 3rd and 18, right?
There were a couple of very, very crucial moments in there that this thing could have turned blowout city. Packers had a double-digit lead for a large portion of the second half. Most importantly, the down that made it a touchdown win and a comfortable is maybe a little bit of an exaggerated way of saying it, but a game in which you could sit above and look down upon the opponent for the majority of the time is all because of 4th down, Armen. 4th down told the story last year in this matchup. It told the exact story yesterday in this matchup. 2 TDs scored by the Packers on 4th down yesterday, including the first one to Dontavian Wicks and a Romeo Doubs TD in that first half. Last year, when the Packers go 0-2 against the Lions, both games, Detroit scored a pair of 4th down touchdowns. 2 touchdowns on 4th down at Lambeau. Amon-Ra St. Brown caught one. I believe Gibbs scored the other one.
The Packers said, let's flip this thing around. Let's
flip this on its head.
Let's flip this on its head, right?
Looked like you got 2 stops last year on 4th down on that Thursday night game. They scored both. And then this time around, Matt LaFleur, 3 for 3. Conversely, 0 of 2 were the Lions on 4th down. They say playoff games come down to about 4 or 5 plays. 3, 2, 5 plays. Game came down to 4th down yesterday. Dan Campbell felt like that was pretty clean cut when I listened to some of his postgame.
And it's truly amazing how much the margins are truly thin in this league. I mean, the margins of winning and losing, we like to use hyperbole sometimes and extrapolate big. From small results, we like to extrapolate big things. You know, we like to say big conclusions or make big proclamations about teams and players and coaches. And a lot of times it's unfair, Billy, because you're right. I mean, you can see in a game like yesterday how small the margins between winning and losing are, and they hinge on these big plays. And when you go for that many 4th downs, as Dan Campbell does, you flirt with destiny, but you're also flirting with disaster because you know things can go badly or greatly for you depending on the outcome of those plays. The Packers got the big 4th downs. It was fantastic. It felt great. But you don't get those, and this whole thing could flip on its head, and we could be talking about a different result today. So kudos to the coaching staff, Matt LaFleur, for having the right plays called, for being ready in those situations, to having plays they like. That's why you prepare. That's why you design. That's why you game plan for those situations. And kudos to the guys out there making it work, making it happen, saying these are the plays we like to go out and make the tough throws. That throw to Wicks was not an easy one. All right, the 4th down was a tight one. You had to make it happen. Had to reach that thing in. So amazing. And, you know, they went for the 4th down late in the game, Billy. What a dramatic way to finish it, trying to close that thing out when you knew 1 first down could change it. And a lot of commentary and a lot of discussion would have been had the Packers not made it, in my opinion, more so should they have gone for it on 4th down. And you and I were, like you said, back behind the glass as the game was going, debating it right there, kind of in the moment. Not debating it because I didn't really disagree with you. Both kind of thought the safe, right play is to punt.
Definitely the safe play.
But what's right in today's NFL has been changed on its head because of data and analytics, which I think kind of had it at 50-50. So if it's at a 50-50, then I'm like, all right, there's really no wrong decision here. So how do you want to make your team feel? And that's kind of the way I think Matt LaFleur looked at it. I want to make my team, myself, maybe my fan base, maybe the media, because he strutted in the media room yesterday like he was the prom king.
Yeah, we're gonna hear it. We're gonna hear it in about 10 minutes.
Oh,
and you are very correct, sir.
Now,
you were on that yesterday too.
It's like he put his both legs up on the table and said, so I think there's a part of that, and that's okay. You know, you don't get to a spot like that, into a job like that with a little bit of hubris and ego, which isn't terribly bad for you.
And I appreciate a little moxie.
Sure, a little moxie. So I think what matters to me in process versus result, decision making. What's the data and analytics saying? That's what the information. That's the information you have.
Sure.
So if it's 50-50, I'm fine with either way. I like going for the decision that's going to make your team and your players and your staff feel the way you want them to feel, which is, I believe in you, I trust you, and we're going to be bold, and we're going to go down swinging. And everyone likes that feeling.
That's
now,
fair.
when it doesn't work, let's be honest. When it doesn't work, you second guess it.
Then we can second guess it.
Was this the right thing to do? But let's be honest. Everybody wants to be especially in football, the aggressor. Everybody wants to be the one to control their own destiny. Everybody wants to be the one to say, I'm going to take you to deep water and make you drown, right? They don't want to remember that?
Dan Campbell.
That was the old Dan Campbell one, right? So I think that was part of the decision there. And I like, because sometimes in these situations, Billy, and I said it last segment, I'll say it again, it doesn't seem like there was always a plan. You know, the Bisaccia running over, we can kick this field goal, if you remember last year against the Bears. It felt like, and we heard it post-game, we're going to hear it, LaFleur said, I decided on third down, we're taking 2 shots of this thing. There you go. I like that. We had a plan. And that made a big difference to me on the decision. So obviously it worked out. So it's easy to say the result was right, so the decision was great. I think I would have said that also because, you really think about it. They get those 20 extra yards in the net punting, right? 25 yards. Most times, and it seemed like the Lions in a 2-minute situations, they're rolling that 20 yards.
They can be eaten up in one play.
Exactly.
Jameer Gibbs swing pass off to the left side, and he breaks a tackle like Barkley does in that Philadelphia game. He's off to the races, and they're 25, 30 yards away from tying the game.
I have confidence in our defense to win that game anyway. I think it still would have happened, but I think it would have been a lot more hairy. You know what I mean? A lot more close.
And that's where I leaned on punting because it, to me, went with, and you mentioned it, coin flip. So which side do you feel the best about? I want the unit that has Micah Parsons on it.
Totally understandable.
On the field.
Yep.
However, yesterday that might not have been the ticket. The guy that was cooking the most, especially late in the game, might have been Jordan Love. And clearly they threw it, put the ball in his hands, allowed him to make a decision, and most importantly, allowed Dontavian Wicks to make a great catch.
Put it in his hands, absolutely. He had a great game.
Dontavian Wicks make a great catch. And you want to talk about reactions, post-game reaction in that locker room video when Dontavian Wicks gets the game ball. And everybody on that 53-man roster loses their collective.
They're happy for him.
That shows how much not only he means to the program. You heard him say, I leaned on you boys a couple of different times, and folks in the back were saying, yep. So, he's probably gone through it.
Yeah.
Right? Like these guys go through it together because they're the only ones that are going to hear it. When Dontavian Wicks is dropping the football, guess what? Carl 846930286.
First name bunch of numbers.
Is not the only guy yelling, hey, buddy, Dondrapian Wicks. How about you catch the ball?
Dondrapian. That's good. Yes, he's not the only one. It's coaches, it's players, it's probably his family members.
It's also him.
Yeah.
He's the one sitting there that's got to live with it every single moment.
He's got to
knowing that he's dropping the ball on third down.
That's losing money in a career if he keeps doing it's his livelihood.
I feel so good for him personally, being able to have that moment.
Sure.
Be able to feel kind of validated that the work that you're putting in on the jugs machine is paying off. And then also to then have more opportunities, because the only way that you get more opportunities is to make a play when the ball is in the air. And listen, he struggled big time with drops later portion of the season last year. He starts being sure-handed. Who knows where this receiver room goes?
Especially for a 5th rounder. You're absolutely right, Billy. He's such an X factor because if he's playing his best, that receiver room, the depth takes on a whole new meaning. When we talk about Watson, Dobbs, Golden, and Jaden Reed, and then you throw in Dontavian Wicks, all of a sudden I just named 5 guys that can at any moment go off. That's when you start salivating. That's where the original salivation of the moment of the depth of that room starts coming in. And there's something about Wicks, Billy, that he's always open, it seems like, right? And that's an invaluable ability. He just is like 7-Eleven. That's so true. And when you need that Slurpee at 3 in the morning.
Trip, but yeah.
He's like
there's some quick trips that are not open 24/7, which I'm not necessarily.
Oh yeah, no, that's tough.
But listen, budget cuts happen to everybody. 877-794-1973. Morning, boys. Ryan and Muskego. Hit this before we take a quick time out.
What's up, Ryan?
I know Armen has a banger mix-up for that massive Packers victory yesterday, but would love to hear Wayne Larravee's dagger mixed in throughout. I'm fired up for this morning, boys. We're out here grinding like you on this beautiful Black Friday. LFG.
Appreciate you, Ryan. And I know you texted that at like 5:30, so he was anticipating. Appreciate that, Ryan. Appreciate you.
Ryan's up early with us.
That was actually Luddy who threw down the mix, and Luddy will be playing those highlights and more all throughout the show here because we got to enjoy some of that sound. I mean, they were on it. You want to talk about some boys that were on one yesterday?
Big time.
Besides the boys in the green and gold, the boys up in the booth. They were feeling good.
They were having themselves some fun.
Having a great time. What a great call yesterday with Wayne and Larry having some fun times up in the booth and feeling the energy and feeling the intensity. And, it was right down to the wire, a little bit peek behind the curtain. So Larry stuck around. Usually Larry has to go downstairs to get ready to talk to Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So he stuck around a little later and then had to sprint down. And it was an emotional locker room yesterday, I'm sure, because we had to wait a little longer for Matt yesterday. He was having too much fun.
When Larry McCarron's rumbling down that staircase, you better watch that out. And he is coming.
And the other MVP was Chandra Lynn yesterday. And let's hear it for Chandra on the post-game highlights. She had to fill a little extra longer, so she earned her money yesterday waiting for Coach. Because you saw the locker room video. He didn't want to leave those boys.
They're pumped up.
So
they
that
were
was
pumped
awesome.
up. They're having
Awesome
some turkey. He said, how did that turkey taste?
Yeah.
Come on, how'd that turkey taste? Hear from the head coach coming up on the other side after that victory yesterday. It's No BS with Billy and Sarian on the game.
Chris Brooks to the left side of the quarterback, Jordan Love. Love steps up, points across the formation, up drops back into the shotgun. Here's the snap and fourth down, rushes on. Love looking off his back foot, throws to the side.
Yes!
And West.
Yes!
A leaping catch at the 30-yard line number. First down, Green Bay. There is your dagger. A Turkey Day dagger right through the Lions.
We'll be back in the high life again. All the eyes that watched us once will smile and take us in.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Daryl Hall to ask how the concept of his show Daryl's House made it to television.
You'd think that would be a simple idea to communicate to television, but it was absolutely impossible. So that's why I went on the internet in the beginning. And then I said, see, this is what I do. And here it is. And once you show it to people, then they go, okay, now we're going to put it on television.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Daryl Hall and all your favorite artists.
Then through the week, it was a short week, but still got around the ball. Got on the jugs. So I felt like my preparation was already in place. So, once I went up to the line, I seen the man. I knew he was coming to me, because I'm the closest to him. I'm across the face. So it was just about making the play to win the game. We knew it was going to come down to the end. So we had to go make them plays that counted.
What's it like to win a game that way?
It feels great. Making a lot of plays. I feel like our receiver room, we came to play today. We got to clean up a little bit. Always got some stuff to clean up, but I feel like we came out with a mindset today. I'm just happy for our group, because there's a lot of stuff, going around with our group. But, I feel like we came to play today.
What did you like about Matt's aggressiveness just overall?
Yeah, I love it. That's what it comes down to, coach believe in you. You just go out and make the plays, and that's going to keep him believing. So I'm happy he had that mindset, and we came out and executed in the way to win the game.
But weeks on a day where you don't even have all of your receivers, you don't have Reed yet, Golden was out, Savion was out. I guess what does it mean to you personally to have a performance like this on Thanksgiving? It's your third game where you've had multiple touchdowns in a game.
Yeah, like I said, it's fun, man. We had some guys down. The people up, even Will. He got activated. As I told him, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be here, with your family watching you on Thanksgiving. Everybody gonna get to play on Thanksgiving, so we knew from the jump. We got people out, but the people that's playing today got to come out and ball, and we did that. So,
what did Coach say to you guys after the game?
Man, he was just happy, excited. I feel like we executed, in great times of the game. To come out with the win at the end. But he just told us keep it going. Preparation, keep preparing how we did this week. So, we can come out victorious.
It's especially gratifying for you. We know what you went through last year to end the game with a strong hands. And there was a couple others today. It's a hell of a way to show people hope. Is that a gratifying feeling to showcase the hands like that?
I mean, yeah, it was I mean, I've been doing it. I try to stay out the media, the outside. So really, like, just proving myself, right? I know what I can do. And the people around here know what I can do. So that's really all I'm worried about.
Message marked urgent. We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
Lions go no huddle on 1st and 10. Goff is hit and sacked from the blind side. Micah Parsons. He's got a sack and a half today.
Added another for good measure, just like a little bit extra seasoning to that Thanksgiving meal that you got to spice up. Micah Parsons, the perfect spice to the Packer defense. 2.5 sacks yesterday, 3 TFLs. And listen, even those tackles are phenomenal on Jared Goff. And that one, he made Goff feel like he looked like a predator tracking down his prey right in the pocket and instantly on the back of Jared Goff, no pause. I thought maybe his biggest play was one of the 4th down stops, the first of the 4th down stops by the Packers. And this was a legitimate stop where they handed the ball off to Jahmyr Gibbs. They tried to pull back, and you'll see tight ends or guards and tackles. A lot of times when they pull, they kind of roll around in through the offensive line, Armen, and they're looking for a linebacker, right? They're going to be a lead blocker in. The other time where you'll pull somebody or trap someone is you'll bring a tight end or a lineman across the formation and try to cut out, knock out the defensive end on the other side, open up just a little sliver of a lane in the offensive line to be able to sneak through there for that yard. Well, Parsons is the guy they're trying to trap. And my man blows up 74, the guard coming over to try to kick him out.
Incredible. Blows
him up into Gibbs, grabs Gibbs. Isaiah McDuffie converges on the stop. 4th down stop. Packers get the ball near midfield. I mean, massive, massive moment, especially for somebody that can't defend the run.
Yeah, that's what they say about him a lot of times. Isn't that funny how that works? You know what, Billy? And often he's taking up so many blockers that it seems one way or another that he's taken out of the game. It really is not, because he's opening stuff up for other guys, and that's the important part. And that's what makes the Devontae Wyatt situation such a bummer today. Is like that injury, you know how important he was, you know how well he was starting to play, and you know how much Micah liked playing with him up front because he always mentions DY.
Yeah.
It's really a bummer. So we don't know the news officially yet, but it sure doesn't look good, right?
Matt LaFleur adds in some of that update amongst other things after the game in a celebratory mood. Well, in a let's be honest, he was coming out taking some shots, Armen. He was letting everybody know. Yeah. I heard you guys were having some fun at my maybe expense here. Were you not entertained, said the head coach yesterday?
So just really proud of our guys. When you look at the game in terms of all 3 phases contributed to that win. It's never easy going against a division rival and a team that has beat us twice in a row at Lambeau. So that felt really.
All right, misfire there. Don't worry about it. Every once in a while, we cue up the wrong thing.
The completion percentage.
Luddy, why don't you cue me up, because I have it over here on the MacBook Pro that is very, very nicely supplied by the company, which every once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Every once in a while they throw something in there. Listen, I imagine you can grab a MacBook Pro today.
Gotta be.
I bet you can grab yourself a great deal on a MacBook Pro today. But I don't have to, because thanks to our beautiful friends at iHeartMedia for every once in a while, one of those dubs. And most importantly, Matt LaFleur yesterday said, were you guys not entertained on that victory that we're able to grab over Detroit and Dan Campbell and those lowly Lions?
Is there ever a doubt? No, that was a great football game. I mean, to come in here against a really quality opponent. I mean, they got great players, great coaches. I've got so much respect for what they've been able to accomplish the last few years. And it's all, it's going to be a battle every time you come in here, but I was really proud of our players. This was a playoff type atmosphere. And to be able to come in and win on the road is big for us.
When did you decide to go for that last fourth down, and what was that decision like? How did you get there?
Well, I kind of made up my mind prior to that. I told Jordan, hey, we got 2 downs here. We got to get one of the 2. So, and our guys just made a play. It wasn't necessarily, obviously Wicks is an option on that play. They did a good job of maintaining leverage. We were trying to throw a similar route to what we hit Christian Watson on our earlier 3rd down, and they did a good job of staying outside leverage, and Jordan came back inside. And I just can't say enough great things about Wicks. We've all seen the type of season that it's been for him in regards to battling through. He's been injured quite a bit. It's been in and out of the lineup. But he made critical plays all game. The touchdown on 4th down, obviously the 4th down conversion there at the end, just really proud of him and just his, mental toughness to stay with it, because he's a hell of a player. He's a tough guy to cover. And he came up big for us today.
Was the timeout to get a different player, just give your guys
No. So what we were trying to do, I don't know if I should say this or not, but we were trying to draw him off sides, but certainly, I think most teams are pretty well coached in that area in regards to telling their D linemen earmuffs and don't jump. And so, I just figured like, hey, it's worth a shot, because if they do, you see it every now and again where teams jump off sides, and that's ball game. So we tried that, didn't work obviously. And it gave us a little bit more time to kind of think about the 4th down play. And I'm just thankful that our guys up front did a hell of a job. I thought Jordan hung in there through obviously a good ball, and then Wicks went out and made the play.
Was the voice that was saying, boy, if I don't get this, who can be toast?
It is what it is. I'd rather go down swinging, similar to how we did in Arizona. And sometimes it can bite you, absolutely. And you just got to deal with the consequences that come along with that. So
why'd you end up throwing out that 3rd down then? If you're going to go for it on 4th,
because we knew it was going to be man coverage. They had a loaded box. Same thing. We could have ran it. Josh, I thought, was running really well. They were in base defense. We were in 11 personnel. So that limits some of your runs that you have in the game plan, and they got a loaded box. So, we did a double move to Rome, didn't work. Had Christian coming across the middle. I really have a lot of trust and faith in our wide receivers. I think they're all like certainly capable. I think they all played their ass off today. I thought they all played big, made big time plays, obviously Christian and Rome. So Bo Melton got into the action, Malik when he was called upon. So I think all those guys made plays for us.
He was the fronts today. Love had time most of the day, and golf.
I think that's key going into every game. When that football's played, up front. So if you're able to give your guy time, you're going to have a lot more chance at having success. And, Detroit's got a really good offensive line. I think we got a pretty good defensive line. And certainly you felt Micah Parsons today, 2.5 sacks and other pressures. And he had a hell of a performance.
With the timeout that negated the false start, were you calling for that? Like, did they get that right? And what did you see that made you want to?
Of course they got it right. What do you think, Pete?
I couldn't tell, and I never saw it.
I was calling timeout.
What did you see that made you want to call?
It was a similar situation as the 4th down. A delay, we call it a delay situation, but it's obviously it was a timeout so that we were going to use if they didn't jump offside. So we were going for it there regardless.
So why is Belton moving on that if you're not going to snap the ball?
That's a hell of a question right there. I think I'm going to ask him the same thing.
Did you know what you would get down there on that side, on the left side with the three receivers?
Excuse me?
Did you know what you would get in terms of coverage on the down?
I mean, this is an aggressive unit, so you got to plan for man and react to zone.
How big of a shift was that fourth down stop?
Yeah, our defense, I mean, we knew going into the game, Dan's always been aggressive, and we knew it was going to come down to that. And I think really when you look at it, both sides of the ball, the fourth down was the difference in the game.
Really struggled with drops last year. How has he gotten to a point where he can do what he did today?
Yeah, I think it's just his mindset. It's never been for him a lack of talent. He's always had the talent. And I think, I mean, obviously you want to go attack the ball aggressively. I think that can help eliminate a lot of drops. And, I know a lot of great receivers that have struggled with drops and then overcame that. And he's got great hands. He's a natural plucker of the football. And so it's never like a lack of confidence in him. I've never wavered. I can speak for myself and our staff. We've never wavered on his ability. Like, I think he's so talented, and he just got to keep on approaching it the same way, the way that he has. And I think, games like this are going to happen for him.
There you go. There's Matt LaFleur after the game, and very celebratory. And listen, happy head coach to be able to take a couple of shots and let everybody hear about it. Of course, you got it right, Pete. Shut up, Pete. Stop talking, Pete.
He's feeling himself yesterday.
I love when Pete Doherty is in there post game, because that's generally also a Pete Doherty one-on-one. A lot of times,
Pete is the one guy that's always
a lot of times and we had Schneidman tell us a number of different times last year where, like, how they would divvy up duties, and somebody would grab this guy and somebody would grab that guy, and what do you need asked here and there. Pete Doherty, a lot of times, the only one talking to the head coach on those road games. Instead, there was a full press room there, Spoon in the conversation as well. That was awesome. Stuff last
How
night.
many fans do you think listen to the full pressers, Billy? Because anyone that says that these guys don't ask tough questions or whatever, lapdogs, they don't listen. These guys, even in a great win yesterday, were asking important, pointed questions.
Yeah, Matt didn't necessarily love it all the time.
Oh, he did not. That's fine.
We love that you're here with us. Maggie and Georgia said, hey, y'all, I like listening to you when we lose. But dang, it's so fun when we win. Appreciate you. Have a great day. Have a great Black Friday. And be back with us on the other side, because hour 2 of No BS is next on the game.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey there, people. This is Mark Maron, and I host the podcast WTF with Mark Maron, which is available on iHeartRadio. Honestly, I think we could all listen to each other a little bit more, and I think it's a healthy thing. I listen to all sorts of people, comedians, actors, musicians, directors, writers, even a president. They come into my garage, and we have a conversation about all the big stuff in life. Go check it out, WTF with Mark Maron, right here on iHeartRadio.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold. Land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin. 21 plus. Drink responsibly.
Classic Cuts.
A lot of rockers have fond memories of recording their hits, but Rod Argent has a different recollection of cutting his namesake band's Hold Your Head Up. The keyboardist says he could barely hold his own head up during the sessions at Abbey Road.
We recorded Hold Your Head Up and Keep On Rolling on that particular weekend. And I really wasn't well. I got some food poisoning. And my girlfriend at the time, she'd gone away for the weekend. So I was staying in the house by myself, feeling terrible. And I was turning up at Abbey Road for the sessions each day to record this thing, feeling absolutely awful. So that's what I remember about the session.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head high. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
I'm Jason Flom, founding board member of the Innocence Project, and my new podcast is Wrongful Conviction, available on iHeartRadio. On Wrongful Conviction, I interview a different exoneree every week and help them to tell their incredible stories of tragedy and triumph against impossible odds. You've got to hear it to believe it. Wrongful Conviction from iHeart Studios, available now on iHeartRadio.
This is No BS with Billy and Armen on Wisconsin's home for the best sports talk and other stuff. The Game.
What did you think about Matt's aggressiveness today?
I thought it was good. I thought it was real good. I think the plan was perfect.
Fourth down, what Dontavian did on that play and what he did all day. How big was his play in that fourth down play?
It was huge. I mean, we don't win the game without him. So he made me right, on that third down. Got to find, a way to come down with it. But, he came out there in the next play and got it done. So, he was a big part of this win today.
It wasn't just that fourth down. You guys were 3 for 3 on fourth down. Did you need all those to win today? What's it like to be in a game like that?
100%. I mean, we know every time we're going against these guys, it's going to be a dogfight. We need every single play that was out there today. We needed it.
What did you see on your touchdown?
It was a mid-game adjustment that we had seen. We had seen they were playing, really flat-footed. They weren't, really trying to get out and run with us when they saw us breaking out. We just dialed it up and it, worked out perfectly.
Coming out in the second half of the bomb, when Matt runs the ball as much as he did last week and then throws it downfield and trusts you guys, what does that feel like?
It feels great. Just to have, that amount of trust in, each and every one of us out there. I know it means a lot to all of us, but it just, that's the kind of team we are. We have a lot of guys that can do a lot of things. So to be able to, put it all around and, everybody's making plays is big time.
Chris, just a simple question, but how big was this win? Taking up the Lions for 4 times in 2020?
It was huge. To have a sweep, against the Lions and, put ourselves in a position to, potentially, get that top spot in the NFC North back. It was big time. I'm not sure. I can't say, anything better. He went out there and did his thing today for sure.
The way you guys play, do you wish every game were a Thanksgiving game?
It definitely brings a different vibe to it, for sure. The energy out there. We bring our own energy most of the time and just go out there and play football. But these ones definitely have a little bit of boost to them. So it's definitely fun to play these Thanksgiving games for sure. I think it might have been on the field. I think we were talking about it, before we went. No, we did talk about it during halftime, but I think we were talking about it before. We had a play that was, similar, and they were, kind of sitting on it. We needed to find a way to take advantage of it. We talked about it, went out there, and we got to, find a way to come out there fast. Whether it's, the first quarter or come out from halftime, and I think we did that.
Message marked urgent. We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
In the shotgun is Love. Emmanuel Wilson to his right. Here's the snap. Quick looking, waiting in the tight pocket. Throws the middle. Wicks has it inside the 30 and cut down to the 25-yard line of Detroit.
I don't want to be a Monday morning heading back to work, stuck in traffic, going so nothing on.
Packers win yesterday, 31-24 over the Motor City Kitties. Fixed the Kitties in 2025. Packers win both matchups against Detroit. And, listen, I don't want to be too hyperbolic with it.
No, just do it. Why not, Billy?
But damn, are the Lions going to be behind the 8 ball to try to make the playoffs here in 2025 after that one? I am just...
They're in a bad way now.
Heartbroken.
You're so sad about it. They're in a bad way.
Heartbroken for this fan base who's just been through so much, and they're just such good fans. They let you know how good of fans they are every single time. Now, listen, not like Packers fans don't like to.
No, we do the same. We're very
our chest with our exceptionalism.
We're very exceptionalist. Like to talk about ourselves being the best, which we are.
But damn, Lions fans like to let everybody know that they have supported their team harder and firmer and longer than anybody else. That they have in the midst of there we go. Listen, you got to do it a little earlier than that.
I missed it.
Earlier than that.
Obviously, timing's important in life, Billy, and I was a little late, but I still got it done. But yes, I was a little late there. They like to tell you about it, though. You're right. Yeah.
Listen, if you're too late on that one, you're going to end up with another one. So, like, you enjoy knowing that not only you can win a big. Come on, again, you got to be quicker with this. If you're going to get in there and say something instead of under your breath 5 seconds later. Come on, make the joke. Fellas, come on, step it up. It's a comedy day. We're supposed to have some fun here.
We are.
If you're going to try to make the joke and you guys want to, at least say it with your damn chest.
I know it.
Golly, Packers victorious yesterday. And on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line, our friend Johnny O. Bag of Glazers last night. I missed this one on the talking text line said, great win, fellas. Now that Wyatt injury definitely saddens me. It's a huge loss. However, I have so many I hate Jordan Love friends, and I just don't get why. What are they watching?
I'm with you.
He has not had Josh Sitton, TJ Lang, Brian Bulaga, David Bakhtiari, Corey Lindsley, no Jordy Nelson, Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, but Anthony Belton, Sean Ryan, Aaron Banks, Dak Tom, Rasheed Walker, they're coming together. Wicks, Watson, and Dobbs have grown. Rarely saw a pocket for Love till the last 2 games. In his face, he's got a lot of duress. Still 8 wins locked in. Now seeing the pocket form. Love detractors are absolutely nuts. Don't you think so? Johnny Bag of Donuts from Tosa. Also, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Johnny. A bag of donuts. We could use some more. I agree, Billy, with him. I agree. Yeah. Glazers,
you want to talk about exceptionalism? Glazer's different than any other donut, and not just any other donut that they're selling at Quick Trip. I apologize.
They are one of one. They are the GOAT. Now, I got to say, I tend to agree. There seems to be a lot of people, obviously you're going to hear less of them today, that still want to convince you and convince themselves that Jordan Love's just not that good. And I don't know what the real reason for that is. And I've been trying to discover it and figure it out and discern this, Billy, throughout the year. Like, why is there this narrative that seems to persist among some fans that Jordan Love's not that good? And I think part of it is we're used to seeing greatness. I think part of it is a lot of people want to make a statement, have a take. And finally, I think a lot of it is some people want to be right. And they want to tell you, I was right about this guy. Yep. And therefore, he didn't get a first down on any random drive. Therefore, he's not the guy. Oh, this guy, look, he's not it. He's mid. Look at him. What do you mean? Well, come on. He missed a pass there. Like, he threw an interception once. Like, this guy doesn't turn the ball over much, but the times he does, people talk about it like it's, like Dewey defeats Truman. Like, it's the only mistake anyone's ever made, and it's the most important mistake of all time. Even yesterday, I see some takes about high variance quarterbacks. Oh, now the take is, well, Jordan Love's a high variance quarterback week to week. He was good yesterday, but he was high variance. So when he's on, they're great. When he's not on, it's a consistency issue. I'm like, well, really, is he high variance? I don't really think he is. I think he's pretty much consistently good. I think the lesser games sometimes, Billy, are when you have things like the wide receiver drops that we saw, or really bad O-line play like Cleveland, or times he just doesn't get into a rhythm because he doesn't have the ball enough. There's not a lot of times anymore where he's been really just bad.
Yeah, but you know what this is.
I do.
You know what this is.
Yes.
You got to do it in the big moment. You can't have a no touchdown, 3 interception game in the playoffs in your last 5 quarters of playoff football, throw a combined 5 picks, and not have those people who will make those damnations on every throw that you just mentioned until you win 2 playoff games in a row. Does that make right? Like, and I don't know that that's fair or not, but it is kind of what we do in sports.
It's
right.
reality.
Like, it's the reality of now the late game last night saw one of the individuals. Lamar Jackson has been given an incredible pass for a large portion of his career. I love Lamar. One of my favorite players to watch. My man has shrunk in the biggest moments. And he's played some of his worst games in his career in the playoffs. Right. Jordan has three interception games, one of which came in the wild card game last year against the Eagles. So until he's able to rectify that one, Armen, I believe there's a subsection that will find it. And let's be honest, they'll kind of get off on being able to dunk on that spot and enjoy that one trope and that one jump. Not fair to him, and you can't necessarily do anything about it yet, but you have more days like yesterday and start hitting this rhythm rolling into the playoffs. And then you can talk to me in the middle of January if people are still coming back with the same kind of retort towards Love.
Yeah, it's fair in that sense. I mean, it's not even just what have you done for me lately. It's what have you done for me in the playoffs lately.
In the playoffs.
What have you done for me in the last playoff game that I watched lately? What have you now? Jordan's also had a good, famously one really good playoff game. So he has had good moments there. But you're right, Billy. That's part of it, and that's understandable. Now, until you're a made man in this league, that will probably follow you around. If Brett and Aaron didn't win Super Bowls early enough in their careers, they were pretty early in their careers. It would have followed.
Years old.
It would, yeah. And then they had the next 10 years of not winning it.
Yep.
It would have followed them around a lot more. And the Lamar Jackson thing's interesting. I think part of that is literally the rest of his time is MVP quality play. So he wins MVP.
Some of the best quarterback play that we ever watched outside of last night, where that whole team was ass.
So it's really, they were. Yeah, why are you playing Joe Burrow? That's a whole nother thing. I think that's the reason why.
No doubt.
So you're right. I think that's part of it, and understandably so. And it's looking more and more like the Packers will be in the playoffs. I don't say for sure, but looking more and more like they will be.
Mm-hmm.
So Jordan will have another opportunity to rewrite that script. Will he be able to do it now at home? He hasn't had a home game, right? He hasn't had a home game.
Interesting one.
So now he might get a chance to do it at home, which could help, obviously, in that situation.
Well, and let's also be truthful here. I don't think Jordan Love has thrown a whole lot of touchdown passes at home lately. Check notes. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass at Lambeau Field in over a month.
Pretty remarkable. Three
straight games at home that the Packers quarterback has been thrown held without a touchdown pass. That's the other thing, right? Like those are the numbers that people will still go back to because they want to have, to your point, the opportunity to be right.
Yes.
Since the Chris Canty moment on Get Up, where he is on here today. Oh no, sorry, that's Bart Scott. He was on his morning radio show, Unsportsmanlike.
I tuned in for a minute and then I turned it off.
At least you tuned in. I give you credit on that. I mean, I don't know how many people do, Well,
I was on the TV and I was just.
Oh, okay.
And then I walked in and turned it off.
I thought you were going evil Luke Fickle on that one.
Well,
talking about our former shooting guard.
There's a lot of.
I didn't know anybody that listened to your radio show.
That
evil Luke Fickle AI video every single week.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to Matt LePay coming up in about 20 minutes as the Badgers go and get ready to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers, try to win back Paul Bunyan's axe. That account, if you have not followed online, you might just want to go and check it out every once in a while and see. I thought that was just the case. Nobody's actually listening to that stuff, but somebody is. Somebody's probably listening to Chris Canty today, trying to see if he capes up or goes back or backtracks.
Yeah.
Love has thrown 6 touchdowns, no picks, and just under 600 yards. More importantly, the Packers have won 3 games since that loss 10-7 to the Philadelphia Eagles at home, bouncing back quite nicely after that little Lambeau swoon to begin the month of November.
And Josh Jacobs has been really good also in those games, in the red zone, most of those games. So it's not like if Jordan doesn't throw touchdown passes, it doesn't also mean he played bad. Like, I think because of the fact that teams have putting a lid or trying to put a lid on the Packers' explosive plays, there might be less opportunities, but it doesn't mean he's not still driving the team, putting him in positions to score. And then if Jacobs finishes the deal, that's fine. It doesn't mean he's been playing bad either. So I guess that'd be my point. But you're right, Billy. He hasn't had those explosive, crazy, high number, type games, those jackpot type games at home. But I don't think he's been playing bad either. I guess that's the main point I want to make. All right. I want to get this one in from Bob in the 281, which is nasty work when he just says, I mean, that's Houston. I did the research because he said listening from Houston. But you texting is Wisconsin saying I'm in the 281 like any of us know where that is. That's nasty work. I love that. But anyway, appreciate you, Bob, for texting in from the 281, listening from Houston. Always fun when we win. LaFleur smashed all the critics yesterday with his game plan in attack mode, 2 tutties on 4th, great mix of run and pass. And the defense led by number 1 kept the Lions on their ass. Yes, Billy, It seems like there were a lot more people that were saying, okay, yeah, I've been ripping on LaFleur for the play calling, this and that, game plan, but yesterday he did a good job.
Yeah, quite quiet. I didn't hear much of that. Now, admittedly so, it was much more aggressive. Now, they didn't just all of a sudden walk out and throw on every single first down. I saw some people saying, I would like to see him throw on first down a little bit more. Also like the deep shot on second down, right? Like whenever it ends up being not forcing every series of downs to crescendo in third down,
sure,
might help. Like Wayne talks about it yesterday on the broadcast, and he's right. Packers are the best third down converting team in football so far this year. They also, I think, take and have probably the most third downs out of anybody in football. Generally, that's because, if you're you probably have a lot more of those opportunities if you're a bad team because you're always going to third down.
Yeah, I see.
Packers game plan to get third and short,
but
game plan to get third down.
Yeah.
So, like, at some point, even if it is third and short and your normal distance is going to be very, very low yardage, it's still going to be a gotta have it moment. And yesterday, outside of the fourth down gotta have it moments were the turning point. We talked about that. 3 of 3 for the Packers, 0 of 2 for the Lions. But third down in particular, also the Lions were pretty dang good too. At one point though, 7 of 10. Their final 3, 1 of 3, leading to both of those fourth down misses.
Well, it is kind of funny the way fourth down culture works in this league, where it becomes like third down is always going to be an important down in this league. But it used to be the most important down because that was it. Nobody was going for it on fourth. So now it's like, third down conversion, doesn't always tell the whole story anymore. Now, obviously, it still tells a big part of it, but it doesn't always tell the whole story anymore because teams are going for it on fourth down all the time, especially when you get a team like this, the Lions and Dan Campbell and all that stuff. So I do think that's an interesting part of it. And you're right, Billy, about the third and shorts, although that's kind of what defenses have been designing the Packers to force them to doing. So part of it is like the complaint was, we have to be more patient and emotionally intelligent to not fall into the trap of trying deep shots. No, we have to take what the defense gives us. So the Packers are trying to do that too. I know everybody wants these games to be like Madden all the time. I want us to pass every time, throw for millions of yards, every play to work, knowing every play works all the time. Just call the plays that work. It's not that simple in real life though, always,
and those people, if that's the case, they shouldn't play NCAA because that game, especially you're playing the computer, it doesn't always go according to script. It's way harder than it should be.
That's the way it should
CJ
be.
On the YouTube comments, I remember at the end of last season thinking, no way the Packers repeat their 1-5 division record. 3-0 this year, job's not finished. Drew Olson told me asked me yesterday, he's like, so what? Do they just reverse this bad boy and go 5-1 in the division? Like, well, I don't really want to forecast that they're losing one of these.
I like that. Yeah, why go 5-1?
I'd really like to sweep Chicago. We were talking to our friend Charles in Arkdale yesterday on Packers OT, and he's like, I'm a little bit nervous for when they take on Denver. But I'm like, listen, if they sweep Chicago, I said it this way, and not to go all Pat Narduzzi.
Like that.
University of Pitt coach who said just before the Notre Dame game, listen, all due respect, this game doesn't really matter to us. He's like, as long as we win our ACC games, we go to the playoff.
That's a great setup, by the way.
We go to the playoff as long as we win our ACC games. So it
doesn't matter if we lose, just everybody knows.
Everybody just blasted them. How on earth are you doing this? Well, they were up 28-0 on Georgia Tech, who was in first place in the ACC, but that's only somebody with a Georgia Tech to win the ACC ticket griping about that one.
Georgia today.
This one, rambling rack.
Well, I'm just saying, Georgia today.
Yeah, I think they're playing that game in Atlanta, but not on campus, Armen, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's basically Georgia's home away from home. Yeah, I'm with
Plus, that's the building where you get like $3 hot dogs and stuff, right? Thank you, Arthur Blank.
It is.
It's the cheap beers and stuff. Okay, there you go.
Also, Georgia plays in there like twice a year because they play in the SEC championship game every single year. But that's neither here nor there. The point being made of would they and how will they fare the rest of the way in the North? I said, like, listen, they could, if they win both Chicago games, I don't care if they roll up to Denver in the Mile Get High City and get baked 41-10. Right? Like, I really don't care if that's the case, as long as you win both of those games against Chicago and you have a stranglehold on the division. That AFC game really doesn't matter all that much in terms of tiebreaker. Absolutely overall. All the games matter in terms of your overall record.
Charles had to remind you that yesterday.
He did.
Well, your overall record.
Your overall record does matter.
Well,
no doubt about it. It absolutely does. But if we're going to pick which games that we're going to end up losing, that one doesn't really that doesn't hurt you at all in terms of tiebreakers and conference losses.
I get it.
Divisional losses. If I got to sacrifice one of them, I'll let Bo Nix feel all warm and cuddly and enjoy himself that victory out there in Denver in the Mile Get High City in the middle of December if it means that we get to smoke bear meat over the next 3 weeks.
I agree. Now, that being said, in the moment, none of us are going to be okay losing a game. We're not going to be sitting there during the Packers-Broncos game like, this one doesn't matter. We're going to be as intense as any other game. We're going to, especially if we beat the Bears, we're going to be like, we got to win this game too. We're going to want that as much as any other one. I understand all that. Like, that's still, we're not saying like they can go forfeit. We're not going on Steve Zabin here and say go forfeit the game. You know, you don't have to win that one. But you're right, Billy. In the grand scheme of things, those division games are important. The question is, and I hate saying this because I've been calling them frauds and paper tigers. Would it be too unrealistic to ask yourself to beat the Bears twice in 3 weeks like that? Like, and I don't want to get too ahead of it because it's a 1-0 week every week. But just the way the schedule's shaking out, it's kind of weird to have to play them twice in 3 weeks. And most likely
don't tell me you're already scared about it.
No, I'm not scared of it. I'm just saying let's just trying to be pragmatic and look at it like its split is pretty likely, right, in these games. No, I'm not saying I'm scared.
Am I queued up in there?
I'm just saying, Billy, it might happen. I just don't know. All right, fine. I get what you're saying.
I know this is the toughest division of football right now. There's 3 teams that made the playoffs this year. I've got tremendous amount of respect for the coaches and the players in this league. Having competed against them for the last 6 years. Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, you're talking about 2 guys that are up for Coach of the Year awards as the season ends here. And to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
No, I get what you're doing. I get your point here.
Anything else?
No, I'm
About
fired
trying
up.
to beat the Bears twice.
I'm
in
fired up.
3 weeks?
I want to beat the hell out of them. I want to dump truck the Bears. I want to shove that smug look right back in Ben Johnson's
This man
face.
said unprompted these words.
Ends here. And to be quite frank with you, I kind of enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year.
All right. I get what you're saying. We got
You know what I
something
really
for 'em.
enjoy? Beating Caleb Williams twice in 3 weeks.
Let's go.
I
All
like.
right, now you
I
got me
just. You
believing.
want to talk about the emotion. You want to talk about being pragmatic and cautious and controlling your emotions.
Right.
Let's make sure that we control our emotions. Let's not give any bulletin board material. Let's not live in the emotion of the rivalry. No, let's not do any of that.
I'm going to be all in, that week, Billy, that day. I'm all in.
Is it okay? Is it crazy to think maybe we just split with the Bears?
I'm not saying we want to.
Nonsense out of here. 877-794-1973. Might beat it by 3 scores each time. 877-794-1973. More on the impending Bears loss coming up later on today as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles as we continue. Wayne Larrabee will be joining us coming up in about 40-ish minutes from right now, top of the 8 o'clock hour. In about 12 minutes, Matt LePay, before he takes off with Badger football to go call Badgers and Golden Gophers. He'll join us at 7:30. It's No BS statewide on the game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Soundtrack. Flashback.
The only song sanctioned for running upstairs is Gonna Fly Now. Bill Conti's theme from 1976's Rocky fits perfectly on today's workout playlists.
For more great movie soundtrack hits, check out Popcorn Radio on the iHeartRadio app.
What's your favorite Bob Uecker line?
Just a bit outside. That's where my wife put me a lot of times.
45-yard field goal attempt off the left hash mark. Brandon McManus for the first points of the game. Here's the snap, the placement. Swing to the right leg, the kick is up. And it is good.
All right. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to reflect on a day in the life of writing and producing the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album in France.
We all stayed at the Shadow in bedrooms, along with my producer, Gus Dudgeon, and Bernie, who wrote the lyrics. And I used to get up, and same time as Bernie, I went down to breakfast. Bernie would be typing, not Bernie Taupin. And he would give me a lyric. And I would have my breakfast, and I would have a croissant, and wander over to the electric piano. We had our instruments set up around the breakfast table, a guitar amp, a bass amp, and a drum kit, and the electric piano, and a mic. And I would sit down and write a song to those lyrics. Hence, then I'd wake the band up because I'd be playing and singing, and they'd come down and having their breakfast, or even before they started, they would join in, and we would write the song straight away. After we'd finished, we'd go straight over to the other side. Maybe we write 2, but mostly 1. Start the day off with a song, and go off to the other side of the courtyard to the studio and record the song, and then write in the studio.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Crowd comes to full throat. Here's the snap. Give to Jacobs. Picks his way. Bouncing left to the outside. Breaks through 40.
Great
It's a
cut.
footwork to the 50, to the 45, 40. Just inside the numbers, Campbell catches up with him. Brings him down. They're going to mark it to the 40-yard line, where his knee touched first. 29-yard run for Josh Jacobs.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bets. Place your bets.
VSiN, every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
4th down and about 3 from the 47 of Green Bay. Motion to the right side of the tight end, Ross Dwelly. In the shotgun, Jared Goff. Gibbs to his left. 3 receivers on the right, 1 to the left. Here's the snap, the handoff to Gibbs.
Yes,
He's hit, swarmed under.
yes.
He didn't come close. Oh, the Packers well prepared up front, and they turn Jahmyr Gibbs away.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Prince songs you've thumbed up. Number 3, Little Red Corvette.
It was Saturday night. I guess that makes it all right. You say, baby, I ain't got enough gas. Oh, yeah. Little red Corvette. Baby, your mind's too fast. Yes, you are.
Number 2, 1999.
2000 party over. Out of time. So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
Number 1, When Doves Cry.
Like my mother, she's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Hear more from Prince and similar artists now. Search for Prince on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
3rd down from the 4-yard line of Green Bay. In the shotgun is Goff. Takes the snap. Looks around. Steps up. He's hit and sacked. Micah Parsons again. This time right through the A-gap. Decks him back near the 15-yard line.
Message marked urgent. We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
No BS on the game. Billy and Sarian with you statewide. What was that?
Oh, nothing. Sorry, our mics are on.
I appreciate everybody, first off, holding firm. Listen, my voice is very tenuous right now. We are battling through it. We are working very, very hard.
Yeah.
However, excited to put this thing to the test coming up tomorrow after Badgers and Gophers. You want to talk about working? We're going to be braving the elements to get on in here and talk some Badgers football after. Hopefully, we take that axe back for the first time in a couple of years, because when you win rivalry games, you get to celebrate, and then you get to have pictures like Hayden Rucci, former Badgers tight end, now Miami Dolphins tight end, Hayden Rucci, got to post the other day where he at Huntington Bank Stadium chopping down that goalpost. One of my favorites is all the axe photos that former Badger alums start posting this week.
Oh, everyone's going to have their photo.
You got to go win yourself your moment in that photo so you can post it for the rest of time, Armen.
That's what you were calling aura farming, right?
That's the aura farming we need.
When
Yes.
you were telling me about every high school kid has the same picture with the high school championship trophies.
Oh God.
It's aura
I did
farming.
notice that trend.
Well, that's what you do. I mean, you have to aura farm a little bit and get your social media picture, which I get. That's part of living in 2025 is I want a picture with the trophy.
You better believe it.
Looking like I'm sleeping with it, like I'm Kobe.
I got my Arrowhead Warhawks right here. You know, I was very, very proud of those boys getting to bring home that gold ball and celebrate. I still follow a number of them on social media.
Congrats.
I saw the exact same picture with the exact same bleached blonde hair that, when you go to state, what you do is you bleach your hair, apparently. Which I appreciate. I'm down with it. I'm down with the sickness if that's the case.
Is that look coming back? Is this 2001 again? Like, is everyone bleaching their hair again?
No, but that was more like the highlights.
This
is more like, hello, it's blonde.
We're throwing the whole thing blonde. And so I saw a lot of blonde heads with the exact same imitation Kobe
Like
pose,
AI.
holding the trophy. And listen, I'm all for it.
Oh, yeah.
Go,
You got to have
get your moment.
This is it.
But I'll say it this way, because we made a lot of jokes at one Jason Tatum's expense. And I'm here to say, Jason Tatum, apparently you're the kid's superstar. Everyone said he's just stolen valor and he's stealing everybody's bits.
Sure.
Apparently that's just what you do in 2025. You just take the photo. We've had in the past.
Well, it is sort of like a thing. Like it's sort of like a trend. It's and then everyone does it, and so then it just becomes culture. It's like the 6'7" thing. Who was the first
100%.
one? Oh, that's everyone does now. It's like I'm not doing 8'9". I'm doing 6'7". That's
the
the
6'7" thing.
Yeah.
But I saw Dominique Yates before we get. We're gonna take a quick time out here from Journal Sentinel. We saw a bunch of different guys saying it yesterday. Like, hey, I'm glad to be back after working Thanksgiving to my family Thanksgiving. I've heard my nieces say 6'7", 8,400 times.
It's a lot.
Dominique Yates was like, listen, Wicks had 6 grabs, 7 targets. That was my story.
That was it right there.
Yeah, you understand the assignment.
Now being in alignment and wearing 67 is probably the coolest thing ever.
It probably is.
Yeah.
It probably is. That a lot of times 69 was probably the first jersey taken away.
Of course.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Now 67 I think is the first jersey grabbed.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that one lasts. 877-794-1973. Also didn't think there was ever going to be a time in my life that we were going to see 6'9" be funnier than another number in the 60s be funnier than 6'9".
Good point. I agree with you, Billy. So
that just shows we're all maturing.
We're growing, we're developing, we're maturing.
Be thankful for this maturity and growth that we're all showing here today.
Like the Badger football team, we've shown a lot of growth this year.
A ton of it. We're going to talk on the other side with a man that has seen all of it and called every single one of those games. Matt LePay, he'll be on the plane in a couple of hours going to Minneapolis as the Badgers take on the Golden Gophers, try to win back Paul Bunyan's axe and get the 5-7 for the second consecutive year. This path to 5-7, a lot different than last year's, and let's be honest, a lot more positive. We'll discuss that with Matt LePay on the other side. It's No BS on the Game.
And have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their 6th album, Asia. It goes to number 3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released, hits number 14 in the U.S., and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time. Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to number 5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits number 13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to number 2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
Alzheimer's disease is the 6th leading cause of death in the country, and it's affecting almost 7 million Americans, including 110,000 people here in Wisconsin. UW-Madison is working hard to improve the lives of those affected, offering resources to educate and the latest in research and technology. The UW Initiative to End Alzheimer's has so many ways you can benefit, learn, get involved, and make a difference. Visit goalsforacure.org. That's goalsforacure.org.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Peter Gabriel as he reflects on the first official gig Genesis had in 1969.
Oh, well, actually,
it was at the end of the lane going to my parents' farm. There was a family there called the Barnes who wanted a band to play at their party. And truthfully, the people at the party really wanted to hear hits, and they didn't want to hear original songs, which is the age-old dilemma for bar bands.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Peter Gabriel and all your favorite artists.
You may not play for your favorite team, but you act like it. Whether you're at work or outside on the grill, you carry them with you. No, not with a jersey, but a mindset as you crack open that ice-cold beer. Cheesehead TV and Gathering Place Brewing bring you Carry the G, a delicious and easy drinking cream ale. But it's not just for tailgating, it's for everyday life.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold from the land of the green and gold.
Available throughout Wisconsin, 21 plus, drink responsibly.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Bryan Adams to discuss how he comes up with song titles.
Yeah, actually, a lot of my song titles are mumbles. With Cuts Like a Knife, it was just like, we used to jam, Jim Valance and I would jam songs together. And I remember we listened back to the tape afterwards. And I said, that sort of sounded like Cuts Like a Knife. Didn't it sound like Cuts Like a Knife? He goes, yeah. And then I play it back, and yes, I said Cuts Like a Knife. That's cool. And then he'd say, what about Cuts Like a Knife, but it feels so right? I said, that's a good idea. So whatever that means. He makes sense of my mumbles.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Bryan Adams and all your favorite artists.
You are listening to The Game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rod Stewart to discuss how different his recording process has become over the years.
Oh, it was the whole process was absolute fun. And, because in the old days when we used to make albums, in the 80s and the early 90s, we'd all go into the pub for about 3 hours and get blind drunk, and then go into the studio and try and make music. Invariably, when you listen back to it the next day, it was totally useless. So it just took up so much time of being in the studio, and away from your family and everything. But the way we did this, there were months where I wouldn't see Kevin, and we'd just do it through the computers. He'd send me over a chord sequence. I'd try and fit some lyrics to it, send it back to him, then he'd send it back to me. Then we only went into the studio a few times to put some real drums on and do the vocals. Otherwise, it was all done at Kevin's house and my house, which is wonderful with Pro Tools.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Rod Stewart and all your favorite artists.
Message marked urgent. We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line.
Hey, I'm just trying to find some answers here.
At 1-877-794-1973.
Tucker Ashcraft lines up in the backfield. Lance Mason motions to the right, hand off. Darion Dupree, 15-20. Dupree, 25, breaks the tackle, 30, 35-40. Darion Dupree to the 50, in the clear, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Wisconsin! Darion Dupree, 84 yards.
Been waiting for that call for a while. A resounding victory for the Wisconsin Badgers at Camp Randall in Big Ten play against the Illinois Fighting Illini, who are coached by Brett Bielema, who just felt like that was important to throw on
important
in there.
Notes.
No BS on the game, Billy and Sorry, and with you, Matt LePay, voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, here now. Matt, there's a number of different things I love about that call, and it's about the Axe this week, and we're going to talk a ton about Minnesota and Wisconsin coming up tomorrow, 2:30 kick, and we appreciate your time here on this beautiful Black Friday. Some people call it White Friday. It depends on how you want to see the world, happy or sad.
Well, tomorrow might
glass
be.
half full, glass half empty. Tomorrow's Small Business Saturday as well. Make sure that we're supporting local.
Snowblower Saturday, yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
When you're watching that play and the 84-yard touchdown that I imagine people have asked you about ad nauseum this week, there's the Eugene Hilton play, running down the field, acting like he's catching the ball. There's the stiff arm that Darion Dupree puts on the poor kid from Illinois whose family was watching. That was kind of rude. And then there's Joe Brunner, who was featured on Get Up with Jeff Saturday, just pancaking the living out of number 7 from Illinois and then surfing over him. Matt, that's about as good of a play as you can have running through the highlight tape there at the football facility all offseason long.
Billy lineman's dream. You get to go pancake a safety. Hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
That was that thing. The play had everything, and they did a good job on the UW football social media. They had Brunner talking, they had Eugene Hilton talking, and then Darion Dupree. It was funny. When I was recording Fickle's weekly show this Wednesday, I said, "Hey, try to give a little love to the receivers coach, Jordan Reed." He goes, "Yeah, I don't know if I want to give him too much credit. That was a great play by Eugene Hilton. He's just a smart guy, and his dad Ty all those years in the NFL." But it was pretty cool to see that, and for a Badger fan, and most importantly for a Badger player, a long time coming. They have been lacking in explosive plays. Let's put it mildly that way. And to be able, I thought it was interesting, guys, in talking with Luke, and I think he said this to multiple people, but on his radio show, he said, there's sometimes when you walk off the field and there's almost like a sigh of relief that you didn't lose, and then there's other times where you won. And Saturday against Illinois, he said it felt like they won, and they did. It was kind of a nip and tuck game there for a time, but in the end, they really controlled things when they had to be controlled. So for him and his players, his staff, to be able to enjoy a game where it wasn't just an exhale out of relief that you didn't lose, you could really bask in the glory, so to speak, that you won the game, and did so rather decisively.
Oh, and to that point, Matt, you and Mark did an exceptional job just illustrating the fact that the Badgers were winning the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, especially the last 45 minutes of the game. Like the last three quarters, it felt like it was slanted and tilted in favor of Wisconsin. The Badgers' defensive line, which they portaled this offseason and made a massive point of emphasis, definitely worked. But to the Fickle winning part, man, he said post-game, and then Daryl Peterson talked post-game about the moment at halftime where, Luke Fickle's in his third year, and there's a lot of people that had a lot of things to say about the coach this year. But when he's talking like, I've been waiting for somebody to stand up during halftime and deliver the message. I've been waiting for somebody else to say it instead of just me. When DP is the one to stand up, one of your senior leaders on senior night, and says, guys, coach told us last week, it's 10-7 ball game. Let's go win it and not look like warm cheeks in the final 30 minutes like we did against the Hoosiers. And they come out and clap. Like, that has got to be maybe the best win for Fickle. Of, we talk about culture, we talk about alignment and everybody flowing and rowing the boat in the same direction. Man, that's got to be a feeling where everybody in what you're trying to do is actually catching on. That may have been maybe his best win to feel like on Saturday.
Yeah, it seemed to be, Billy. They, last year before the roof kind of collapsed on them, they had won some games, and convincingly so, and they were feeling pretty good about where they were. And then the final month of the season happened, month plus change. But yeah, he's talked a lot publicly and even probably privately with his coaches about the need of getting, having guys be able to step up. He always goes back to Tanner Mordecai. He loves Tanner Mordecai, his first quarterback here, who missed a chunk of the season because of injury. You're looking for guys like that. And I don't know if you go back a couple of years ago, if many people would have thought Daryl Peterson would be that guy. Really, unbelievable dude, just a great young man, and checks all the boxes of what you would want as a Badger. But to hear about him saying what he said at halftime, and let's be honest, he's playing some of the best ball of his career right now, and it's fun to see the seniors do that. Obviously, the young guys with Catalano and Posa and all those guys, Darion Dupree, a redshirt freshman, being able to do what he did. But to see the seniors, when that finish line is approaching, to play the way they're playing, that's kind of what Wisconsin football has been built on.
And it indicates some really important things. And I think that's what's meaningful to a lot of fans right now. It's the way they're playing for Fickle, what it means. What's amazing about sports, I always thought, is that it taps into our innate desire, guys, to be addicted to hope. We want to have something to believe in. And it's amazing how quickly we can start to believe again, even if things don't, seem to always be working out, right? So obviously this team isn't going to the playoff and all these things, but what I think fans needed to see was some hope and belief that this team was going to be able to turn it around start looking like themselves again. And I think that's some of the most important stuff about this is, yeah, obviously winning games, but the way they're winning games, it made Badger fans feel like themselves again in a certain
it really did. First, I want to correct myself. I think I said redshirt freshman with Dupree. He's a sophomore. Dylan Jones is a redshirt freshman. But yeah, hope is what I think it's what drives us as fans. I mean, on the one hand, there's the old line, hope is not a method when you're talking about your own team. But as a fan, hope is what brings you back. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the Brewers, the Packers, the Bucks, whatever. And the fact that they have, they've won these games, really turning it up several notches defensively. And then offensively, Jeff Grimes he's trying to dial up anything he can. Think about the philosophical shifts within the course of the season. They've been trying to do offensively. You thought you had a quarterback in Billy Edwards who was going to be able to sling it and do different things. Danny O'Neal to an extent can do some different things, and he goes down, and he had his rough moments to be sure. Now you've got a true freshman in Carter Smith, where it's still to be proven by him that he and this offense can hurt teams throwing it. But they threw it enough. He was efficient. They threw it some. He was 9 of 11. But he was efficient when he did, and just using him in different ways. And it's been the roster is going to look a lot different again next year. Billy, you touched on it with the interior, the defensive line. Most of those guys are going to be done after this year, but it seems as though they are establishing who they are, what they want to be. Now we'll see if they can carry that over. This is a week-to-week deal now in college, almost as much as the NFL. If they can close it out tomorrow in a good way, then you win 3 out of 4 to end your season, particularly with the path that these guys have taken. I think it says a lot about them, and hopefully it can be something that they could build upon moving forward.
Matt, couldn't agree with you more. And we were mentioning it in the previous segment where 5-7 last year, everybody thought, wow, rock bottom. This is the worst it could get. Then October happened. And then you could be like, all right, sweet. 5-7 looks a whole lot better than 2-10 in the optimism. If you're a glass half full or a glass half emptier, you can look at it 2 different ways. But I think a whole lot of the fan base, I would just go off of, I like to test some of our post-game reaction off of my man Jim Polzine, Wisconsin State Journal. He'll just drop the easiest question. Thoughts on that Badgers game? Thoughts on that Badgers win? Thoughts on that Badgers loss? Matt, there were 113 comments. I read through way more than I probably should have. I think I hit all of them. There were 4 negative ones where that if you would have done that last year after the second to last game, you would have found 4 guys to be positive and then 400 people making fun of that guy. It's a much different place to be when you feel of the optimism right now. And sure, winning is good for the soul, as the old coach used to say, but the way they've done it, the style of play, and the physicality is something that it feels like can get carried over, whether or not some of the players and some of the names and some of the faces change.
Well, we're really watching this defense now get to the quarterback. 5 sacks each of the last 3 games. When you're not getting sacks, you tout the number of pressures. Well, they're getting a lot of both. Last year there was a time they were getting a fair amount of pressures, just weren't getting to the quarterback, and then even the pressures faded. But the way they've ramped up that area, getting to the quarterback, getting the ball carrier down, if it's a running back behind the line of scrimmage, they're not very easy to run against. That is more of a Wisconsin defense that fans have been used to seeing. They still don't turn you over very much at all, but they're not giving up a lot. Even like the Indiana game, Indiana got 2 touchdowns on shorter fields off of turnovers, and that was a competitive game. And figuring it out offensively. Making a play on special teams, Charlie Jarvis, tackling the punter after a low snap. Those are the kind of things that okay, this is what everybody wants to see. But it's still going to be this roller coaster is going to continue, Billy, regardless of what happens on the field on Saturday. You got signing day next week. There's some moving and shaking going on there. They get a guy who flips, who's going to go to Wisconsin, another guy who flips, who's now going to Oklahoma. I don't know if we're done with that kind of thing between now and next Wednesday. And still, what's it going to look like through the signing period? What's it going to look like in the portal? There's still a lot out there. But I think with the way these guys are finishing the season, especially your last 2 home games when you've beaten top 25 teams, and You have the fans, mostly students, on the field celebrating. If you're a returning player, or if you're someone who's a prospective player, you're thinking, man, this is kind of cool right now. Just think of what it'd be like when you win a really big game. This place, and there's video evidence that it's pretty cool when they do that. It's been a minute, since they've won a really, really big game here, but there is evidence it has happened many times. So what you saw the last 2 home games, it's times a lot when you win the big stage games at Camp Randall.
Yeah, and what you illustrated right there, Matt, Patrick Herb doing a phenomenal job of giving the play-by-play of the recruits. They're sitting in the front row. Our friend Isaac Miller, Catholic Memorial Crusader, Charlie Jarvis, Catholic Memorial Crusader as well, getting to celebrate with their waving the shirts around. Listen, we were hearing, Armen, that people wanted that in the top of the student section.
They love it.
I'm okay if it's the recruits and a couple of 3 and 4 and 5 stars hanging up there in the front row. They want to rip the shirts off and go and celebrate there. We'll be fine with that too.
It's perfect. What's more, Wisconsin? I mean, everybody in the country is doing this stuff now, but what's more, Wisconsin than doing that on a chilly night? I mean, if they're up there tomorrow, we're supposed to get 1 to 3 inches up there in Minneapolis. A lot more here, it sounds like. But you get a little snow going in a rivalry game, and if you get some Wisconsin fans there, they might. It's 2:30. You got a little time to tailgate a little bit. So just I guess we'll let it go. I as a public service will not do that because my workouts have been kind of shaky, so I don't need to be taking it off.
That's the reason.
But some of those young bucks, go ahead, man. Show off that gym muscle. Go ahead.
Your trainer's been telling you those declines in the gains, Matt, right? Every 3 days, every drink, it's 3 days that it takes to get off there for those gains.
Calorie deficit, and it's going to be paying off when you're whipping that shirt around the booth. No doubt about it. And it's funny you mentioned big games and things like that because, so throughout the landscape of college football, rivalry games and what determines what a big game is, it's like the culture is almost changing. And we hear this Ohio State-Michigan debate kind of going on now about how much the game, quote unquote, matters. Because once upon a time, to get to the highest, reaches of goals in college football, the Pantheon, to win a national title, you have to have won all those games, like the most important games, the rivalry games, Ohio State, Michigan. Now with the playoff, that culture is changing a bit, and then people are having to kind of reconcile and wrestle with how much the games, quote unquote, matter. But in terms of rivalry games, Wisconsin, Minnesota for the X, I would think that game still matters, especially to the players, the coaches, obviously the fans, because of what's at stake. Do you get the sense that still is on the top of the Pantheon to win that X?
For sure. Actually, it was talking casually with Daryl Peterson after the game Saturday. He was getting ready to do his media interviews, and it didn't take him long, just in a casual conversation where he talked about the X. He was already he's coming off another great game against Illinois. Everybody's fired up, and he was already starting to turn the page. I think if you're a player who has been in that game, you understand it. I think some of these guys, I think Luke Fickell, when he first got here, he loves rivalries. And he said that, he's probably said that 1,000 times in his 3 years here, but he didn't know much about this one. And now the longer you're here, the more you understand it. And it galls you to see two things if you don't win it. The other team gets to take the victory lap, and then these schools have trophy cases for their, in-season trophy games, and Wisconsin's is empty. The Axe, there's the Heartland Trophy, the Freedom Trophy that they manufactured with Nebraska several years ago. But this is the one. This is the oldest, it's the longest ongoing rivalry in major college football. And when I came here 100 years ago, I'd like, what? Paul Bunyan's what? Oh, but you find out in a hurry what it's about. And I think to the other point, Armen, it's interesting because Ohio State, Michigan. If Ohio State loses, it's still making the playoff, and we saw that last year. It won the national championship. But some places, maybe a lot of places, it's different. There, unless it's changed dramatically since I lived there a long time ago, and I don't think that has changed. This game is still massive. Ohio State hasn't beaten Michigan since 2019. Michigan withdrew or had the COVID test in 2020 and couldn't field a team. But Michigan has won each of the last four, beginning in 2021. And could Ohio State win another national championship? For sure. Mm-hmm. But this game, it's like the Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn. That's big for Bama for playoff purposes, but it's big, period. All these games, that is still – and hopefully it'll hang on. It might take on a little different look moving forward with the playoffs, and especially if they expand it again. But still with the college game, the bragging rights, the rivalries, it's still, I think, a separator from the NFL. NFL has rivalries. Packers got one coming up here with the Bears, but this one it just seems like it's a more personal thing for fans and for the players who are involved.
Well, the reciprocity, did I use that word right? I think that might have something to do with it too, right? The
Reciprocity.
Thank you. The in-state
you
tuition savings that you can get going from Wisconsin to Minnesota, Minnesota to Wisconsin. I got a lot of friends that went to Minnesota. I had a lot of friends that I knew from Minnesota that went to school here. So there's a good crossbreed is the way that you could say it that way. But also, Matt, knowing the fact that, again, little bits of show prep that we do on this show, we're starting to inch closer, and just
don't overdo that. Yeah, show prep's overrated.
We're getting all-time series tied at 63, and 8. Wow.
That's
we're going to
a
throw out
rivalry.
that first 1890. Got the nonsense. We were playing ball in 1990. We started in 1894 and we got our first dub.
Well, 8 ties too. I mean, man, that's a lot of ties.
This is incredible how tight this is. Now, granted, I probably should have bought a pork belly so we could have had a slab of bacon to honor the old trophy.
Old
but
school.
You want to talk about the rivalry is great. The trophy itself, though, is one of the coolest ones in the sport. All the other ones are great. This one gives the greatest moment of, and we just joked about it, all these players, and Daryl Peterson really wants to have his moment where he can go chop down that goalpost, right? That's what having that photo.
Absolutely. And this thing with PJ Fleck, it has become even because Wisconsin had a long stretch of winning against Minnesota to draw it even here in the all-time series. But Fleck's 4-4 at Minnesota against Wisconsin. So his teams have been a problem for the Badgers starting back in 2018. But it shows you what the rivalry means, in that it used to be that the axe would be behind the team bench.
Yes.
And if the other team won, those guys raced across the field to get it. Well, now in our kinder, gentler world, allegedly, we've decided that we need to have the axe at a neutral location. So it is, they put it behind one of the goalposts. So it is a place where you'll make the sprint to go get it, but you're not going across the field. You're not going through the other team to get the axe. One of the two funny moments, one in particular, is when Gary Anderson was a coach. It was a cold day. It was like 15 degrees, give or take, up there in Minneapolis. And that was the first time that Anderson had been a part of this rivalry. Wisconsin won, Badger players taking the parade route, the victory lap, and the Minnesota band is performing. It's to the end zone to our right, to the broadcast booth. And they're around the goalpost and they're playing their fight song and whatever to their fans. And the Badger players, they didn't really care about the band. They wanted
you guys are going to have to get back
and then I think some Minnesota players go out there. It got a little testy. It turned into, it was a lot of bouncing, a lot of jaw jacking, and they're like, oh boy.
That'll work out as long as there's some good contention this weekend. Matt, safe travels up there, man. Enjoy it. We can't wait to hear it coming up tomorrow.
All right, boys. Take care. Have a good weekend.
There he is, voice of the Wisconsin Badgers, Matt LePay, joining us here. Voice of the Green Bay Packers, Wayne Larrabee's next. No BS on the game.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game. If you missed No BS, you missed out on this.
If you ever have jury duty, both the defense and the plaintiff, they can pick the jurors together.
Thanks for that reminder. I've actually never gotten to do jury duty.
Twice. I got it 3 times.
I got it twice. Once on my 18th birthday, and I went through the entire trial process, and at the end, they cut one person. I was like, of course I get cut. I sit through all this, and I don't even get to be a part of the decision-making process.
No.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I had it 3 times already, Billy.
Jeez.
What's going on here? You know what I mean?
I'm an outstanding member of society.
You want to do it?
Pay taxes.
I love that you
don't want to do it, Billy.
Yes, I do. Okay. I want to perform my civic duty.
I love that.
Everybody sits around and gripes about it.
You're right.
I want to perform my civic duty.
You know what?
Court system. I'm right here.
First time.
My wife gets the notification of the summons this week. She is complaining up and down.
Can you be her tribute?
I can't do this. No, you can't volunteer as tribute. I looked online. I was ready to Hunger Games that thing. Walk right in there. I volunteer as tribute. My wife's got 2 kids at home, basically running a preschool in our living room. I just make jokes on the radio. I will be the guy that potentially has somebody's fate in their hands, and they don't want that for some reason.
You know, I'm proud of you, Billy. I'm proud of that attitude. That's the correct attitude to have.
Be honest
And
with you, I
had
had to hold back from swearing a couple of times because
I
I think
love
it's bull. It's BS, like the name of the show. 31 years on this earth. I've been available for 12 of them.
Come on, Milwaukee.
They've only given me one time as the reserve guy. I called in every hour. I was so juiced. I was dressed.
Sure.
I had a fake briefcase ready to roll down there. I know you can't even bring anything in.
A collared shirt on.
Yes.
Look like Hunter Baumgart.
We're going to offend him?
I don't know that I have ever worn a collared shirt tucked in outside of in a suit. Your boy was suited and booted, ready to roll down there.
So proud of you, man.
To the courthouse.
Yeah.
Call in, automated voice message. The reserve jurors are unneeded for the afternoon of 4/19/24. Dang it!
Listen to No BS with Billy and Armen every weekday from 6 to 10 right here on The Game. This is The Game, home of No BS, DND, and Drew and KB every weekday. Live on the iHeartRadio app and YouTube, Facebook, and X. Just search 97.3 The Game. Let's go.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to discuss some of the secrets behind songwriting and success.
Artists think too much. You write a great song, it's going to register with people. You know, don't think about what sound I'm going for next. As you get older, you want to try different things out, and you want to, experiment. But in those days, it was nothing of the sort. We just went in there, wrote the songs. We had changed. We changed from the Elton John album into a full-fledged 4-piece band, but we hadn't realized. And it was not planned. It just happened. I'm a great believer in go through life, trust the process, and something will happen if you have the faith to let it happen.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
And a base hit up the middle. 1-0 Brewers. South Freeland drives in the first run of the game. Yelich into shallow right. That's a base hit. Freeland is going to come around and score. Through the hole, a base hit. Perkins sent around third. He'll score. It's for Joey Ortiz. Is Freeland to right. Back Simon looking up. It's off the top of the wall to bounce. Ortiz around third. He'll score. Collins down the left field line. A fair ball and into the corner. Freeland scores. Contreras a BB in the left. Here comes Collins. Throw from Pham is late. They keep pecking away. Trying to get some start against Carmen Majinski in this sixth inning with a 1-run lead. And that's a fair ball down into the right field corner. 2 runs will score. Towards the middle and through a base hit. Perkins scores. Line drive, base hit. Ortiz is in. Freeland's in. Contreras to third. The Brewers have hung a dozen on Pittsburgh. Tobias Myers kicks and deals. Struck him out. 12 in a row for the Brewers, and it's burger time in Milwaukee.
Message marked urgent. We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
In the shotgun is Goff, waits for the snap. 3 receivers spread to the right. Williams to the left, press coverage on him. Single safety high. Blitz coming. Goff looking, rolling right. Blitz throws, right side, drop by J-Mo. Jamison Williams dropped it in the flat. And the Packers take over on down.
Oh, that was just beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Jamison Williams. We appreciate it. And Jared Goff, thank you for putting that thing on the back hip instead of the front. and the Packers besting the Lions, not only 31-24 overall yesterday, but 3 of 3 on fourth downs were the green and gold, the Honolulu Blue Motor City Kitties. 0 of 2 on Dan Campbell's favorite decisive down. And now joining us, Wayne Larrivee on the program, called the game yesterday at Ford Field, an electric game. Wayne, it is so good to be able to play with a lead. It's really got to be fun to be able to call a game knowing Micah Parsons is on the team for the one that you're calling the games for, because wow, is it fun to be able to watch him hunt with a lead like that Packers defense was finally able to do a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely, Billy. And Jamison Williams on a day when he was absolutely dominant, and had to be because Amon-Ra St. Brown went out early. That's Jared Goff's security blanket. Well, you knew something about this with Jamison Williams. He's going to do some extraordinary things for them. Yep. And he's going to do something else that'll get him beat. And, it's given. I mean, he might catch a big touchdown pass, jump on the goalpost, and get flagged for a 15-yard penalty. And you miss the extra point because it's a 48-yard extra point. That kind of thing, But as great a day as he had, that drop in the flat, that's a pass play you make.
Yeah, and we talk so much about takeaways and turnovers, and you astutely noted this in the broadcast, Wayne. These are two teams that just don't do this, that don't turn the ball over, which makes them even more in high demand, right? And yesterday there were no turnovers, but fourth down stops are essentially takeaways in this league. And with more and more teams going for it on fourth and fourth down culture changing, as they say, and obviously Dan Campbell at the forefront of that, the Packers were able to take control on the most important downs last night on both ends, and that was fourth down.
Yeah, that was a point you made off air to us, and I thought it was really appropriate because you're right. I mean, you go fourth down, you don't get it. Yeah, it's a turnover, man. The ball goes back to your opponent. So, maybe that's something the competition committee will draw up. I'm sure that once they put in a couple of more rules this spring that make the game even more impossible to officiate. Okay. Yeah. Believe me, folks, after seeing 47 years of, we just tweaked it a little bit. Yeah. 47 years of that. And the league is, the game is virtually impossible to officiate effectively. So it's not on the officials. It's on the league, which has done all these changes over the years. But my point is, you're exactly right, Armin. Those are big. And, give Matt LaFleur some credit. People were hard on him after the Minnesota game. Boy, played it close to vest and all this other stuff. But I don't know about you, Billy. I could see 2 series into the Minnesota game that there was no way the Vikings were going to beat the Packers that day. So why give them a chance? Why put the ball in harm's way? Why get into a passing game with them? You didn't have to. Just run the football, grind it out. Did you run it effectively? Oh, not really. You averaged less than 4 yards a carry. But you pounded it away at him. And by the way, I think there's an unwritten rule that Brian Flores can put 1 billion, not 1 million, but like Hupie and Abraham, 1 billion people on the line of scrimmage, as long as they're within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And they did that. And the Packers just kept running, ran 42 times, not very effective, 3.8 yards a pop, but maintained ball control and didn't turn the ball over and beat the Vikings easily. Yesterday, Matt LaFleur went into the game. He kind of hinted at it in his pregame show. He said, hey, we got to answer their physicality. The Lions are arguably the most physical team in the league and have been the last 3 years. We also have to be aggressive. And he was talking, I think, about him and his play calling. We've got to be aggressive. Hey, listen, field goals aren't going to win this game. Field goals might beat the Vikings in Lambeau Field. They're going to beat the Lions in the Motor City. And so he was aggressive. And I thought the 2 games back-to-back were 2 of the best games I've seen Matt LaFleur coach, because he did what he needed to do against the Vikings. He did what he had to do against the Lions. And, kudos to the coaching staff.
Those are perfectly stated, because what you had to do against the Vikings was also give yourself a little bit of a cushion in terms of how much work you put on these guys going into a week, Wayne, where you were going to have to test their physicality, no question. And you're going to have to do it on a week where you're not able to put the pads on. Yeah. All you're able to do is walk through and then answer the bell for the earliest and quickest turnaround in pro football for the noon game on Thanksgiving, the early Thursday game. That's the quickest that you're going to play all year long. So I couldn't agree with you more. I also think, like, at some point, you can't tell me it didn't play a factor on those gotta have it plays. Detroit emotional, physical, overtime game where they're on the field, both sides, for over 70 plays in that game against the Giants. Packers defense plays 44. They looked fresh on those gotta have it plays, especially, the sacks are one thing, but Wayne, that fourth down stop near midfield where they tried to go and trap and kick out Micah Parsons. He says to 74, sit your little behind down, brother. And I'm going to catch Jahmyr Gibbs right here in this hole. And like you said, they stopped him for a loss of 2 or 3, could have been 7 if they would have let him go. They looked fresher than Detroit did, and I think it definitely played into because of what you saw on Sunday.
And we talked about that on this show this week. I that was something that struck me. The Lions were forced to the limit against the Giants, who really the Giants just absolutely tore them apart. Over 500 yards of offense and 30-some points. All that forced them into overtime. And I can't agree with you more, Billy. I felt like going into that game, the Packers were the fresher team. But the Lions, let's say something about what they did. They gave you a much better performance than they did opening day in Green Bay, where they looked like they weren't ready for the season, okay? Yesterday, they gave you everything they had. I understand Amon-Ra St. Brown went out early. We lost Devontae Wyatt. Big part of what we do defensively. I understand the layman doesn't see that. Doesn't see the defensive tackle and in the middle of the scrum and what he does to affect a play. Devontae Wyatt was rounding into, he was becoming a blue chip player, like Edgerrin Cooper, like Tucker Kraft. Now, 2 of those guys you and I talked about in ad nauseum at training camp are gone. Okay. So another challenge for this team that has seemingly very, very good depth, as it should. 3rd year of this project, since the Rodgers years. So this process is going on. They're a deep football team, but they won't be the same without Wyatt. They're not the same without Tucker Kraft. So hopefully they'll be able to pull things together down the stretch. I think they will. But the fact is that was a big loss yesterday.
No doubt. But Wayne, how unusual is this schedule with the same division opponent, obviously the Bears, in 2 or 3 weeks? Do you remember anything this unusual in the schedule, and what kind of challenges or maybe advantages would that set up for the Packers as they go into these games?
Yeah, I remember specifically 1998 when the Bears and Packers played 2 of the last 3 games of that season. Okay. And, so this is not unprecedented. It's a little unusual, but I do love the way the schedule is broken down. Why? Because we're starting to see teams answer the bell or not. And we're starting to see that, this is great. This stretch run is setting up perfectly. It started with Minnesota. They did what they had to do there. They go to Detroit. Most people favored the Lions in that game, and rightfully so. And the Packers beat them and upset them. And now we've got Chicago coming up in 2 of the next 3 games. The game in between is a tough one in Denver. This is shaping up. Let me tell you something. There's no easy way to the playoffs. The Bears have coasted along with some subpar opponents that they've beaten. Give them credit. They've beaten them, and they look like a much improved football team. But starting today, don't we start finding out about the Chicago Bears in Philly today?
Right.
Yeah, when we lay 7 with the Eagles at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I do, not we. Sorry. 877-794-1973. Wayne Larrivee is with us right now. Wayne, I just think they catch it today. I'm right there. I believe I said it a couple of different times that we will talk about the Bears' impending loss coming up at 2:00 today on Prime Video, because I think they get it handed to them now. Doesn't mean they can't go and beat the Packers next week. I think they pose a very unique issue, especially with what you mentioned right there a couple of answers ago with Devontae Wyatt. That's a huge loss in the run defense that's already been tested a couple of times by the Packers, not because they give up a lot of 6, 7, 8, 10-yard runs, Wayne. It's just that teams feel the only way you can beat them is by running it 40 times, and then maybe we can win a 1-score game, because otherwise we're not going to consistently be able to drive on this defense trying to throw it. That feels like it is going to test, especially those young Georgia guys who I thought Warren Brinson played his best game of his career yesterday. He played a ton, and 91 was out there a lot after the injury. That is going to be really important how that part of their depth gets tested, because it has showed up big time, their depth on that defense, as you mentioned.
They gave up 119 yards rushing yesterday. Jahmyr Gibbs' longest run was 18 yards. You realize he had a 45-yard run and a 69-yard run against the Giants. So, that's explosive. David Montgomery, 8 carries, 32 yards, 14-yard was his long gain. He had 1 touchdown. The longest run was Jared Goff on a busted play, scramble. He scored 24 yards in the second half of the ball game. But The Packers defense has been solid. They make you work for everything you get, and that's all you can ask. I think a big break when St. Brown went out, but then again, the emphasis became Jameson Williams, and he made some plays. Give him credit, as we said earlier. But I thought for the most part, the Packers did a heck of a job containing a big-time offense. People forget the Lions coming in were the second best offense in the league. They were averaging 29 points a game. They got 24. They were third in yardage. So they can do a lot of damage to you offensively. And I think the Packers did what they had to do. And like I say, I'll go back to saying this. The Lions played much better in that game yesterday than they did in the opener in Green Bay. There was no comparison to that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think, two of the impressive guys yesterday for the Packers offense, besides Jordan Love, of course, Christian Watson and Dontavian Wicks, two guys that have had some up and down moments. We know Wicks went through with the drops and Watson with the injury recovery, but they both, I'd say, become pretty sure-handed. And Jordan Love trusts both of those guys, especially Watson. He's been making a lot of big sure-handed catches, especially the third down catch. And then Watson converting that fourth down. I'm sorry, Wicks converting that fourth down. Both guys, huge contributions yesterday.
Yeah, I agree, Armen. And, with Wicks, it happened late last year. The final month of the season, he caught the ball. He was a sure-handed receiver. He overcame that drop issue that he had last year. I mean, going into the final month of the season, he was leading the universe in drop passes, and yet he caught everything down the stretch. He caught everything at training camp. I think he's had maybe 2 drops all of this season, and he was a sure-handed receiver for the Packers yesterday. I think he's a go-to guy. I don't think there's any question about that. Hopefully, Jaden Reed comes back. He's been on the practice field the last couple of weeks. He's a big part of it. And Matthew Golden, I still think they need to get Matthew Golden going. And I think if they do, they're going to have a big play receiver there as well. Now, again, that's a lot to spread the ball around, but nonetheless, they have some weapons in this, and they should be getting deeper in the receiving corps as this season goes along. They've run the football a little better, but they are better throwing the ball, Billy, I think, than they are running it. And they're capable of running it. I get it, but they're not the run line, the capable run line we've seen. They're not the offensive line we've had here the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, that was a top 5 offensive line each of those years. Not the case this year. Well, we've had turnover. Okay, we've had change up front. We've had injuries up front. Yeah, a lot of reasons for that, but they're not the same line. And Jordan Love, so people tell me, well, they don't give up many sacks, so that's great, and that is great. But a lot of that's Jordan Love. The quarterback has a lot to do with your sack statistic. Does he feel the pressure? Does he have enough maneuverability? Can he manipulate the pocket? Can he get out of harm's way and save a sack? That's something that Jordan Love, that's one of the things people never talk about with Jordan Love, but boy, it's a big part of his game. It's a subtle key to what they do in the passing game.
Aiden Hutchinson talked about it yesterday in a sweet blazer that he was rocking post-game. He looked like he was ready to go celebrate, and sadly, he had to go and be sad during his Thanksgiving and stuff. His face was stuffing in tears. But he said really, calmly and almost downtroddenly, Jordan just backs up really well and throws off his back foot.
Does,
they were able to cushion just in front of him. His ability to buy just enough time and the off-platform throw, but comfortably throw the ball off his back foot and deliver it with force and precision. Wayne, he was in his bag yesterday. Jordan, that was one of the better games. Again, the stats, you can go with this, that, and the third. I think at one point he was 11 of 22, and I think he closed the game completing, 12 of his next 13 or 14. He closed the game exceptionally well yesterday.
You know what? Since Pittsburgh, where he had 3 touchdown passes, in the next, I think, 4 games, he had 2 touchdown passes. He had 4 yesterday. I got to tell you something about Jordan Love's game. It's not going to be Matthew Stafford with 5 touchdown passes a week, okay? Jordan Love's game very much fits what they're trying to do in the game plan. And there are some weeks, like Minnesota, where you're not going to throw it a whole lot, and that's fine. And there are other weeks like Detroit where you got to be aggressive and you've got to make some throws under pressure. The last throw he made to seal the game to Dontavian Wicks, Billy, they had pressure right up the gut. He's off his back foot, as you described, falling back and got that ball out there to Wicks where only he could catch it, and he made the catch. And I'll tell you something, Jordan Love, for all the criticism he gets, which I think is totally unfounded, he is really an excellent quarterback, and he can fit any type of offense. Can he fling it 50 times a game if you need to? Yeah. Does he have to? No. And that's the difference between him and a lot of quarterbacks in this league.
I think it's a good example of how it's tough sometimes to judge how well a quarterback is doing or how well a position is doing, because you talk about complementary football so much in terms of offense and defense. This Packers offense has been complementary to what their needs have been in different games. You mentioned the Vikings game last week. It was a run-heavy game, so that's where the run was featured. And the offense and Jordan Love knew they just had to make sure they supported that run in the types of passes. And last night, Matt LaFleur said, and Jordan Love said, this was going to be a game we had to pass to win. And the running game was still good in supporting that kind of mission, right? But it didn't have to be the feature. It didn't have to get all the touchdowns and all the yards. And I think that's part of the complementary football that's just inside one side of the ball on offense that the Packers have been doing well.
Yeah, they really have. And, they seem to be coming into their own now. I like the way, like I said, I think Matt LaFleur's best back-to-back games in terms of coaching have been these last two. I just think he really, the great coaches, Belichick, what does everybody say about his defense is different every week? Well, that's part of coaching. You're playing a different opponent every week. It's going to take it. You have to win the game a different way every week in the NFL. That's part of it. And I thought LaFleur and his staff did a great job and took Detroit's best shot. You knew you were going to get it one way or another. And that was a huge win and opened a lot of eyes on the national stage now. You got Chicago at home. You go to Denver. Denver's not the Hall of Fame writer, Rick Goslin, who we, by the way, Matt LePay and I on the Lara V. LePay podcast this week, we have the Hall of Fame writer on. He was talking about it. Awesome. He said, there are no great teams in the league this year. That's why you're seeing all the upsets. You're seeing all the upsets. There's not a great team out there. There's nobody on a roll like Detroit was last year, 15-2. There's nobody like Philadelphia rounding into form that way they did last year. There's nobody rushing for 2,000 yards except Jonathan Taylor, and that's in the AFC. And, of course, in our part of the country, we don't have to worry about the AFC until the Super Bowl, all right? So, this is the NFL today. It's a different league than it was a year ago, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why it's the greatest spectator sport. And what's the word we're looking for here? It's the greatest reality show on television, right?
Amen.
There's nothing
Yes.
like it.
And Wayne, it is on one this year. I mean, it is absolutely doing its thing this year with some of the upsets. And because I said it yesterday during the post game, and I was looking right at Drew, and I'd say it to him again. And maybe it's why I'm broke. But you look at the AFC. I'll take 4 different teams over Denver in a playoff game. I'll look at 3 of those other teams. I'll take Houston over 2 or 3 of those teams that are leading those divisions in the AFC. I think it's wide open as it maybe has ever been at this stage in the year. And we talk about it being, and it's all about getting hot. It feels like this year more than any, it is all going to be about who is the hottest team and the healthiest at the end of the day to be able to win this thing.
Yeah, health is a big part of it. No doubt about that. But again, and Billy, we were talking off the air, Larry and I, yesterday about, it's really hard. You can't control. You say, okay, we've got to be playing our best down the stretch. That's easier said than done because it's something that you almost can't coach. It's just like your team is either going to have it down the stretch, it's going to hit its stride, or it's not. And I know the football people scoff at that. They think they can fix everything with X's and O's and Jimmies and Joes. But you know what? There's something mystical about this thing as well. It's not a best of 7 series in the playoffs, even best of 3. It's a one and done. And you're either playing well that day or not. The ball bounced the Packers' way yesterday. 2 fumbles could have really ruined everything. And yet they bounced right back into the Packers' hands. That may not happen on another day. Might not have happened today. It happened yesterday, and they got the win. So the bounce of the ball, there's something mystical. But getting your team to play well down the stretch, easier said than done. And I think it happens. It homogenizes as the season goes along. Last year at this time, the Packers were playing their best football in November. By the end of December, they weren't playing well at all. The offense had stalled, and they just weren't a factor down the stretch for the playoffs. They made the playoffs, no problem. But Philadelphia, that was no problem for the Eagles that day to win in the wild card round.
That's a great point. There's a level of randomness in this game that you just can't account for sometimes that will affect results. Well, Wayne, you don't have to worry about silver numbers anymore on a jersey. Thank goodness.
I hated that. Yeah. Oh, man. Honolulu blue is hard enough, but silver numbers on Honolulu blue? from 9 stories up. I mean, come on.
Yeah, in the absolute rafters in that place. That's for sure.
And there was a moment yesterday, Wayne, when you were calling the game, and it was Keyshawn Nixon covering Lions tight end Tom Kennedy. Nixon versus Kennedy. Did you ever think you'd be reporting on the 1960 presidential election?
Very good point, Armen. I wish you said something to me. I might have said something on the air that our listeners would have thought, listen to that depth of commentary. You should have told me.
I didn't think about it.
What are you doing as the producer? You got to be feeding in this kind of stuff.
What am I doing? I got to be quicker on my feet on that one.
I mean, if you have a good thought, mention it, because chances are I don't have a good thought.
Hey, you know what? I didn't have it either.
I need help.
It's his Christmas bonus, Wayne.
Exactly.
You got to tell Craig that he's holding back on all this good information. That is just a terrible.
Nixon on Kennedy.
Nixon on Kennedy. My gosh, yes.
I didn't really realize it until much later. That was part of the problem.
Oh my gosh. Wow. No, that is so good. Gosh. Oh, if we'd only,
Well, maybe we'll see them in the playoffs. There's still a chance.
Yeah,
tonight.
Yeah, the Lions could make it. Who knows? I mean, I thought, though, guys, yesterday going in, and we said, I thought the team that won the game yesterday in Detroit was the team that was going to give chase down the stretch for the playoffs. The loser, boy, is going to be really tough on them. And I don't know, but the winner certainly is the team. Now, we got the Bears. We're still looking up at the Bears. I had bad information, I think, from one of my producers, but it's on me. I'm the one who relayed it. It wasn't Armen.
Green sweatshirt.
But that the Packers, if they won, would be temporarily in first place. No, that wasn't the case. The Bears are still in first place as we speak this morning, but they're in Philadelphia, and that's going to be a heck of a ball game to watch. Can't wait to watch it.
What the hell, Armen? That was you. You tried to tell Drew and I to say the same thing after the game.
Let's just not worry about it. The Bears will lose today. That's what we need.
Yeah, luckily they're going to catch a fat L. The Eagles are going to cover it.
Armen, the only way we overcome this, and I say we, because I said it on the air, is if the Bears lose today. And then it's a moot point. The Packers are in first place going into December.
Exactly.
That's all we need. That's all we need. Wayne, super thankful for all your contributions throughout the year, man. Thankful for a win. It was an incredible call by you and Larry yesterday. You guys were having a lot of fun. And for Packers fans, it's more fun to listen to you guys enjoy a victory. And that was a heck of a victory to go get, man. Thank you so much for all the time, dude.
Guys, thank you. And always appreciate it. Enjoy the chat, and we'll talk soon.
There he is. There's Wayne Larrivee, voice of the Green Bay Packers. Our conversation with Wayne Larrivee brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, bet above the rest. Discount liquor, family owned and operated in Milwaukee and downtown Waukesha since 1960. And Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, built in Wisconsin, built to last. All three of which could help you in this weekend. Wisconsin Concrete Coatings.
Definitely.
You know what might be the best way to figure out, and because you got a new home here.
Yes.
Now, you're not going to be doing any of the snow blowing, even though your dad called you four times on Wednesday night to make sure you're all set up. Your neighbor Tom likes blowing snow, so he's going to do it.
He said he liked that. Now, I haven't I haven't had the chat. I haven't checked in, so I'm going to assume I'm going to still have to do my own work here.
Do your background work, but if you want your garage to look amazing after you blow your snow, Wisconsin Concrete Coatings underneath, will make it sound. We'll make it sound phenomenal, look phenomenal. And then you need to go to Discount Liquor.
Yes.
Stock up this weekend because it's going to be 9 to 19 inches, I saw.
That's a lot. That's
9
a big
to
range.
19 inches.
Well, that's a huge range.
That's like worse than the cable company telling you we'll be there between 8 and 4.
I mean, that's wild. Right?
And then Potawatomi Sportsbook, bet above the rest, so you can have money for all of this because you're going to win with the Eagles covering against the Bears here today and some more sweet action throughout the weekend. Why not have some winner plays throughout the weekend at the Potawatomi Sportsbook? All three of those you can put to the test on this phenomenal weekend. Tomorrow, Small Business Saturday. It's going to be tough to go get to those small businesses with the snow.
That's tough.
But our snow removal services across the state of Wisconsin,
that's a
our
business.
Public workers,
those are
shout out
business.
to all of you guys grinding this weekend. We appreciate all of you.
Everyone's putting the plows on the trucks today.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what's happening.
And I'm going to be testing out that snowblower, and wow, I hope it works this morning. 877-794-1973. After we were joined by the Larrivee and LePay podcast in the last couple of segments, we'll open it back up to you guys at 877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game.
Let's take this town.
We'll see how much you're going to be missed. You don't have Nixon to kick around anymore.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States.
Modern girl, and I could be the one you found. If we're taking on the world today, I know we gotta leave this town.
Miss an hour of No BS?
Honestly, Billy, I don't think you'd miss it.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search No BS on the iHeartRadio app. Drew and KB on the game.
We're riding the K train. Cato Kalin joins the program, and I go to the Googleator.
Yeah.
And I went to Google, and I said, I always see what's new. So I typed in Cato Kalin, and I went to Google News, and the second item.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, your name was in the news when the anniversary hit, the 30-year anniversary, right? And
Right.
in September, back then, or back in the fall of the trial and stuff. But the second hit on Google News today is from the Daily Mail. To say what you want about that site. Iconic O.J. Simpson witness looks very different 30 years after legendary murder trial. You see him now.
You think?
And there's paparazzi shots of you walking out of CVS.
You know what's really strange about that? That was just last week, and I didn't feel I'm always aware of my surroundings, but you don't understand that whoever it was, they have been following me because I'm also holding a letter. I'm going to a post office mail drop, and then I'm going on the gas station I'm at. So I'm traveling around, and I'm blown away. And actually, Tom Zenner, he goes, Cato, you got to read this. This is so great. And I'm going, I don't know, man. It was just like they're whoever it was. And I was trying to think of who did I run into at CVS, and I always am like aware, like I said, of my surroundings, and I can't think of who it was unless it was one of the cashiers. No, I can't think of who it would have been. But it really was sort of after I saw the pictures, I'm going, oh wow, they were stationed in a car, or whoever they were. They're doing these photos, and I was like, it was sort of a titillating title to find out. So you'd read the article, and I thought I looked damn good. So.
Wow. Here's the text, though. This is great. Kalin was pictured earlier this week as he ran errands around L.A., including gassing up his car and picking up items at a pharmacy. Oh, that's great. Or you get some preparation H there or something? He said,
yeah, I knew I'd be on your show.
There you go. Right. Get some fiber. Had to get ready. And it says, gone were his long blonde waves, replaced by a short and spiky hairdo that was graying on the sides. What's 30 years later?
Everybody's there.
Kalin was dressed casually for a day out in a black V-neck T-shirt and jeans, along with slipper-like brown suede shoes and a steel wristwatch. Although he wasn't as svelte as he appeared in the 90s, the actor was still impressively fit for his age, and he retained his square-jawed appearance that he has long been known for.
Wow.
This is unbelievable. This is so wild.
For sure, that writer's gay.
Kato, I think what you should do is we should find out from the Daily Mail or whoever, like TMZ, how much those guys make. And then KP
We'll
and
just
I'll come
follow
out to
you
LA,
around.
We'll follow you around, take candids of you and send them, and we'll all cash in.
Sure.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm totally in on that deal. So I get at least the lion's share. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
But isn't it? It's really kind of amazing, kind of a down day with this stuff that the Daily Mail did this, and it's weird because today I also got a call to do a story with Ashley Banfield, which I'm not going to do because there's nothing to say. Plus, I'm doing your show. Yeah, baby. But the Daily Mail story, it's like that's international, baby.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Like I said, it wasn't. I don't think it's too defamatory or anything, but it's just the lesson is be aware of your surroundings, and those long lenses can destroy you.
That's very true.
I don't think that.
What did you guys think? What did you think? Do you think the article's okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it was clickbait to the nth degree. It's like, look what he looks like now. And like you click it, it goes, well, he looks like Cato. 30 years later, it looks just like our friend.
Cato, I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. 30 years ago, I wanted that hair, and I'm still trying to get it. I can't. I just can't. But the hair was sweet.
Yeah. I just got a haircut too, so it's back to being cropped.
There you go.
I'm happy with it.
There you go.
You can find all of the shows in podcast form. Just search Drew and KB on the iHeartRadio app.
Animals need friends. For a list of 10 easy things you can do to brighten their lives, please write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's Peter, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
just inches. 16 seconds remaining. Here are the Packers. Third down, inches to go. To Bader. 17-14. Cowboys out in front. Packers trying for the go-ahead score. Starr begins the count. Takes the snap. He's got the quarterback sneak, and he's into the touchdown, and the Packers are out in front. 20-17. There's 13 seconds showing on the clock, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be world champions, NFL champions for the third straight year.
You are listening to The Game.
I went into Sun Records, and there was a guy in there that took down my name, told me he might call me sometime. So he called me about a year and a half later, and I went in and I made my first record.
Bright light city, gonna set my soul, gonna set
An electrifying edition of No BS on our hands. Welcome back on 1070 The Game in Madison. We're going to welcome in the Cooley region coming up here momentarily at the top of the 9 o'clock hour.
Now, that little flash hadn't happened in a while.
Hadn't in a while.
But we got a little...
I got the wool socks on this morning, so that's probably where the static is coming from.
Getting colder and drier, which means that happens.
You didn't say static, did you? Because when static is in that room, then stuff just stops working.
Well,
in here,
that's what I'm saying. So
it
just
makes me wonder.
Just stay ready.
That's why you just missed the power surge that we just fired through.
Yeah.
it'll be happening here pretty soon.
You're gonna have to sing the bumps.
Maybe we gotta listen. Now the issue is, I don't know. Do we have any of the
spray?
Because
I didn't
Scott
make it.
Schimmel would be in here every other break.
He's spraying all night, all
Spray
morning.
this stuff. I remember when I first got hired here, and
He's
the
walking.
first time Schimmel walked in with this bottle of blue spray, and I'm like, "Did you spray the floor?" Like, yeah, I actually generally do. Whenever I walk into a room, I like to spray a cologne and incense. I like to burn
just spraying floors.
I like to burn sage actually
Sure.
before I walk into any room, just to make
Sage.
sure that I get all the
other sage reference this week. Yeah,
we'll find some more.
Yeah.
Like, I just like to burn it just to make sure that I get a little incense in the room. And he looked at me like, "You jackwagon." Do you want this whole thing to blow up?
Right. I'm Scott
Do you
Schimmel,
understand what happens if you don't spray this anti-static onto this floor? This whole board will fry. You will get fired and your hair might go up into the air like Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, you might be done.
You might be toast.
You might be like the mailboxes I saw in
like Marv in Home Alone 2.
Yes, like
Yeah.
Marv, just
Yeah,
electrocuted.
like Marv.
Oh, come on, Billy. You don't know Home Alone 2, Marv? What do you? What?
No, I don't.
Well,
I don't know
like the
Home Alone.
movie.
I know. I'm not.
I'd recommend
it.
it.
It is a me issue. I haven't seen the first one. I definitely haven't seen the second one.
That's a good point. You haven't.
And just
I
stop there.
definitely
Don't
haven't
go to
seen
the
the second
three.
one. Mike Witt says, so does Goody call Christian Wilkins' agent and see if he can make a deal to replace Devontae Wyatt? Because we're going to need a big body Howard Green type for this stretch run. It's a great reference. It's actually one that you made yesterday on Packers OT, or during one of the breaks of Packers OT, said Goody's got to go find his Howard Green. Now, I'll tell you this. The Christian Wilkins thing is fascinating.
It's a different
Lot
situation.
of layers.
Because Howard Green was like a scrap heap kind of guy, right?
Cut during the week and was picked up off waivers.
Waiver
So
wire
it
guy.
wasn't even, he wasn't even on someone's practice squad and the Packers went on. He was on a 53, got cut. Packers claimed him, brought him in, had to make a corresponding roster move to get him onto the team.
Mm-hmm.
They also had 15, 16 guys famously on IR that year. So there was a number of different players. Now the Wilkins thing is, again, 7-layer cake. Is that what people still eating that? The 7-layer dip?
I'll try it.
I think so.
7-layer salad?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of layers to this one. First off, is he healthy? Number one, that was why he was cut for cause, I believe is the way that they put it. And they tried to cut out and take away the guarantees in the contract for Christian Wilkins when he was removed from the Las Vegas Raiders. It was because of a back and forth about how he had rehabbed from a foot injury. I think the Raiders said and urged him to get surgery maybe earlier in the offseason. I don't know that we went full Scottie Pippen here, Armen, where he said, I want to enjoy my summer.
Enjoy my summer, right.
But he didn't think he needed to have surgery. Re-injured, they said, well, now we need to have surgery. And they're like, well, you should have had this done and we would have been good. That was that. And then also the kissing the guy apparently on the forehead deal. All right. Allegedly. All alleged. Kissed one of his players, one of his guys on the top of the head.
That was
what the alleged incident was in the locker room that went back and forth. Again, players rock with a guy that's somewhat maybe a joking deal.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, it becomes you get that bleepity bleeping stuff out of here because I don't play that stuff. And then there is physical altercation that potentially comes down.
That being said,
again,
Billy,
all alleged and all in different random interactions in locker rooms that we've either seen, had, or heard of and speculated.
So if you're a GM, though, you're always looking for talent and inefficiency in the market. Maybe you have a talented guy there that is healthy enough that they just want to get out of the building for one reason or another because, whatever it is, but a fresh start, a new spot, a new space. If he's talented and healthy, maybe he's an opportunity.
Oh, I'd give him a call. Yeah, I'd give him a call. But more importantly, though, Armen, I got to give him the physical. Like
sure.
To me, it sounds more of a health deal than a personal thing. Listen, Christian Wilkins is a unique cat. He's the guy that did the splits in front of the podium when Clemson won the national championship.
He's got a different personality.
He's got a different personality. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely not.
Whether or not you feel like this locker room is strong enough to handle different types of personalities, you have to know your own football team.
Yes.
I think that's where, and we'll go way back machine, the conflict between Aaron Rodgers and Brian Gutekunst, where I do think it actually helped the Packers in the later years, even after Aaron left. I think they think a lot more about how, or at least Goody does, about how this individual player either impacts the locker room, would impact the locker room, or removal of said player, how that will impact the football
and how
team.
certain messages are sent. Like I always thought, do the Packers give Watson the 1-year deal to send the positive message to everybody? If Aaron hadn't said all that stuff, they might have still. There's no way to know.
Very much might have. Very much might have.
But you're right. You don't know how that challenging summer kind of changed Goody's thought process, or what it taught him as a lesson, or vice versa.
And it wasn't like Goody just simping to all demands.
Not at all.
Like, okay, yeah, actually, we're going to do this, and Aaron, anything you say,
sure,
absolutely. Now, it did mean I'm going to bring Mercedes Lewis back because I think his impact is great on this locker room and on this culture. Wasn't great on the divisional playoff game.
Well, no.
But, you can't always forecast how that will play out and how it will interact. Listen, Robert Tonyan was great for them in 2020. He had, 10 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns? A man had, 2 and got hurt the next year. So, just because you're a good guy doesn't mean it'll impact the locker room positively or the football team positively.
Sure.
Other side of the conversation, just because you're a jerk, a diva, a different kind of guy, doesn't mean it will be a bad thing. Also doesn't mean you can't be an additive to how we play and how the culture fits. Hey man, everybody's different. You got to get along with 52 people that are all different than you. Come from different backgrounds, different parts of the country, different schools, different religions, different political views, a lot of different things. And you got to have all of social media on top of it to throw in a bunch of different ways to try to pull you together and have more divisive things. Whether one guy's personality is going to blow that cohesion up, then maybe your locker room's not as strong as you thought it was. That's a decision to make. I wouldn't have a lot of reservations with the off-field thing. To me, with Wilkins, it would be all foot. It would be all health. I don't believe they're even really going to probably have much of a conversation about it, because I also haven't heard anybody kicking the tires on Christian Wilkins. He's a good enough football player that if he was ready to play this year, I think then he would be on a team. Like Holmes said, dude's still not on a team. That's all you need to know. He's going to get brought up because he's the highest profile name.
Of course.
But, I mean, again, it's week 13. To Holmes's point, for the last 12 weeks, teams have needed a defensive lineman. And no one's called. Whether it's because he's not healthy or they don't want him on the team, that does probably answer.
In a league with a lot of GMs that basically overlook a lot of stuff to try and get some talent.
And a lot of owners that will too.
Absolutely. So that's a good point, Billy. It's something to consider. We'll see what happens, if anything, in that regard. I would say this. I think if there's one team in one side of the ball that has a pretty good leadership structure right now, it's the Packers defense. I think you have guys that are pretty measured leaders in every part. Like you have the back end, you have Xavier there who does his thing, leads by example, is good. And you have one obvious alpha dog on the defense. and everyone's going to follow him, and that's Micah. And you saw it yesterday in the locker room video. You just see it all the time. The way Micah talks, the way Micah speaks. It's a joy when your best player as a coach, I'm sure, is your hardest worker. And that's what it seems like Micah is, and he's about the right stuff. Every time he talks about pursuing greatness.
Yeah.
And he's fulfilling it. So I think you have the alpha dog in that room right now.
Well, and I would even say, I don't even know that the alpha, because like I listened to it, and that's interesting you brought that up.
Yeah.
I almost heard him still a little reserved. Still a little, not.
Because it's not his team yet type of thing.
Still not his team yet.
Well,
like he's still saying, man, I'm here with you guys. I appreciate being here. Like I'm going to do what I'm going to prove to you that I'm about this, and I'm going to do all this kind of stuff. Because I'd say the alpha dog and the one that everybody has believed and seen the proof in, fans might not like this one. That's probably more Rashawn Gary. Right? Like, I mean,
yeah, in
Walker,
terms of time they've been there, yeah.
Yeah, and invested stake and the amount of banked reps and belief in that individual. Again, it's not a shot at Micah Parsons.
Sure.
I apologize. I don't want to make it sound like
no,
that.
he's a great player.
But it does
Your
also
point is
seem
they've
like
not
he's
been
still, it feels like he's still trying to, he's only known these guys for 2.5 months, 3 months. So like to just walk in and be like, oh, by the way, I am the captain now. We know what you're doing on the field, brother. We do. And we appreciate it. But RG's our guy. Right? Like it's not a bad thing. It's not a we're going to choose sides thing.
Yeah,
but
but
there's going to be certain players in there.
There's a higher, but deep down, I think these guys are starting to know that this is like Big Brother, like Big Dog. We got the big bully. We got Fonzie now. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, they're letting everybody know
It's
Micah
like-
Parsons on the ball.
It's like
yes, 100%.
it's like- they called Reggie Big Dog for a reason. It's Big Dog, Big Dog,
Yeah.
So it takes time, maybe in that sense, in terms of like putting in the time equity and the leadership part of it. But in terms of when the chips are down, we got Fonzie on the block. Like, you know what I mean?
Let
That's
everybody
kinda what I mean.
know one's coming.
Get that Fonzie reference in.
How
Gotta get
proud
that.
are you of
Gotta
that
get that. Listen, man. When Wayne Larrivee tells you had a good point and a good reference, you start.
How salty
walking,
are you that you didn't throw that in yesterday?
Yes and no. I didn't.
Dropped in.
Well, I didn't think of it until later. I really didn't. But
don't you wish you were wittier then? I always think
Yes.
the funniest response after the show.
Absolutely. I'm like,
I think of a lot of good things we could have talked about after the show.
Why couldn't I have been quicker on that? Yeah, I know.
Listen, that's why our post-show podcast that, at some particular point in time, they'll probably pay us to do. Maybe.
Wrap-up show.
The wrap-up show.
Yeah.
That's why that's going to do big numbers.
Huge numbers.
That's why that is going to do big numbers. 877-794-1973. Hopefully this one's doing it for you on a Black Friday edition of No BS, a Victory Chicken Friday edition of No BS. I saw a lot of people having rotisserie chicken yesterday instead of turkey. That flows very, very well for a Victory Chicken Friday.
Oh, Victory Poultry.
Victory Poultry Friday right here on the game.
Don't forget this fight. Can't get back, okay?
We'll be right back on the game.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Carlos Santana to discuss how collaborating with Neil Sean and Greg Raleigh came to be once again.
Neil Sean had this vision to reunite us again and rekindle that vision. So he's the one that had the thirst to ignite everything. And I'm glad he did, because he stayed on me for about almost a year. And I was busy with Santana. He was busy with Journey. And Greg is busy with Ringo. He's playing in Ringo Starr's band. But we finally got together, and it's such a joy. We all thank Neil for having the pursuance to do it.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Santana and all your favorite artists.
45-yard field goal attempt off the left hash mark. Brandon McManus for the first points of the game. Here's the snap of the placement. Swing of the right leg. The kick is up, and it is good.
All right.
Classic Cuts.
Fans of the Rolling Stones know how shrewd and smart guitarist Keith Richards can be. But when it comes to Satisfaction, his initial judgment of the song as nothing more than gimmicky filler was flat out wrong.
If I'd have had my way, it would never have come out. It just tripped off the end of my tongue one night, and we needed an extra track, and I'd gone through it, and it just didn't strike me as, I thought it was a little bit of a gimmick, the fuzz box and The song was as basic as the hills, and I really hadn't grasped the rest of what Mick had done with it and what we'd done with it in the process. And I'd sort of written it off already as a filler track. And they wanted to do that single. I said, no way.
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no
Goff 0 for 3 passing, facing 3rd and 15 at the Detroit 46. Goff in the shotgun to the set back to his left. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. And here's the snap to Goff in the pocket and sack.
There we go.
Back at the 40-yard line. The pressure all day. Thus far, Micah Parsons, Kingsley Enagbare.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the #1 album in the US and the UK and a #1 single, Angie. Let's Get It On is a #1 single and a #2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of 73, Stevie Wonder is back with the #4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, had a top 20 hit with Freebird, and tour opening for The Who. Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and scored #1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
Lions go no huddle on 1st and 10. Goff is hit and sacked from the blind side. Micah Parsons. He's got a sack and a half today.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Steve Miller Band songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Take the Money and Run.
Bobby Sue, took the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run.
Number 2, Rockin' Me.
I know that it's true that all the things that I do will come back to me in my sweet time. So keep on rocking me, baby. Keep on rocking me, baby.
Number 1, The Joker.
I play my music in the sun. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I get my loving on the run.
Hear more from the Steve Miller Band and similar artists now. Search for Steve Miller Band on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
3rd down from the 4-yard line of Green Bay. In the shotgun is Goff. Takes the snap. Looks around. Steps up. He's hit and sacked. Micah Parsons again. This time right through the A-gap. Decks him back near the 15-yard line. Packers go no huddle. They've got a slot set up to the right side. The same on the left. Under center is Love. Single back offense. Jacobs thrown back. On 2nd and 10, back to throw Love. Has time initially. Rainbows deep down the right side. And he's got Watson. Touchdown, Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson blows the top off the Lions defense. Beat a big Robertson.
And I'm more than you bargained for yet.
That from Christian Watson added to the Packers' lead yesterday, and that quick strike ability put the Packers up 10, where they lived for the majority of the second half. That following the first series of the second half by the Detroit Lions, and the Kitties had 4th and 3 at the, they had 3rd and 2 at the Green Bay 46. Let's call it that. Because quickly, it's a 1-yard TFL by Isaiah McDuffie to set up 4th and 3 with 11 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And Dan Campbell's like, I'm going to go full Dan Gamble here.
Dan Gamble.
Let me go for it. I'm going to try it here on 4th down, man. All right, I like my guys, man. And they try to kick out Micah Parsons and run right, Jahmyr Gibbs right behind their left guard, who drew the tough assignment of trying to kick out Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons said, "No, thank you, sir. I would like another TFL." Him and Isaiah McDuffie stuffed Jahmyr Gibbs for a loss of 2. Packers get the ball back. 2 plays later, Christian Watson's in the end zone with the touchdown you heard right there. Micah Parsons, part of that stop. 2.5 more sacks on the day. And after the game, the post-game scrum. Micah, what's so good, and what's it about you playing in November and on Thanksgiving in particular that has you playing so well and having these numbers?
Man, I just feel like it's just that time of year where, I just think it's the whole factor. I just feel about the community life, family life. I just usually just feel really good, like, between just, like, giving back, my family watching me, family in town, kids. Anytime my son's in town, like, he's not at the game, but I know he's coming. He, like, expect a certain level of dominance out of me, or I'm going to hear it from him. So it's just, like, it's a combination of everything, man. So, like, when my oldest son, I get him and for Thanksgiving, like, it means something to me. So I think it's just overall everything.
You have multiple, or at least it's a sack and a half in 3 straight games. Late in the year, everyone knows what you bring to the table. How are you still able to crack a game every week?
Not caring no more. Just letting go. I just feel like I'm at the point in my career where, like, I didn't know what to expect. Like I said, like, I felt like going into the offseason, it was supposed to be my year to be the best player, and I'm just trying to live up to that. And obviously, not having camp, it took me a while to get into a rhythm. So then late in the year, it just really just being championship football games, division games. I just had to step on my level of play and just be the person they brought me in to do.
Mike, to that point, how big was this win, especially it being a division game?
It's a huge one. This was the division champs last year, so you know who they have on their team. You know what they bring. It's a team that fights to the end. It's a battle. Like, we're all banged up. That was a 12-round boxing match. Ali, like, that's what it feels like. So, this is a team we won't write off. We probably see them again. So this was a big win for where we want to go, win the division, playoffs. That was a playoff game. So we just have to stack these up.
When the trade happened, there's a lot of reasons they wanted you to come here. There's bigger things to still do. But was one of those reasons you felt to beat Detroit? Like, this is a marquee thing that you need to do? I don't know. I don't think they brought me here to beat a specific team, but they brought me here to help them win games and be the person I'm doing right now, making other people better, cheering on guys, and ending games. That's what they was looking for. That's kind of what they found.
Yeah, don't give the Detroit Lions that kind of satisfaction and say that we brought Micah Parsons to be a Green Bay Packer to beat the Motor City Kitties.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm glad he kind of rejected that outright. I was like, I don't think it's just about the Lions, but thanks.
No, they brought him here to do something much bigger. Beat the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. All due respect to the Kitties. Go enjoy your litter box. He was not brought in here to best you. He's in here to best the best teams in football, which you were the last 2 years. Now, notice has been served. The Kings of the North are back after a sweep of the Motor City Kitties. Packers 31-24 victors yesterday on Turkey Day. We got a lot more for you. Jordan Love on the other side after his 4 TD performance on the game.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS. We'll be back in just a moment.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released. Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But you used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots scored their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of 67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby took me a little. My baby took me a little.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Fleetwood Mac songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Don't Stop.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop using me. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
Number 2, Dreams. Number 1, Go Your Own Way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it another day.
Hear more from Fleetwood Mac and similar artists now. Search for Fleetwood Mac on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a number 1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to number 5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a number 3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a number 1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one. Oh, come on, baby.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a number 13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974. Coming up.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the Game.
I'm gonna make it bend and break. Say a prayer, but let the good times roll. In case God doesn't show.
Exactly.
And I want this
My fault. I turned the microphone.
Mic's on.
I turned the microphone on. 877-794-1973.
What it is, you know what? It's okay every now and then to peel the curtain back. Let everybody know, yes, we do talk during the breaks. You know,
We do. Yeah, we talk. We have conversation. We
It's okay.
laugh. We make jokes. All are PG.
No.
Some.
None.
877-794-1973. None on that side of the glass are. Bucks are going to be on Amazon Prime tonight on the NBA Cup, so that's kind of nice.
It's
right
something.
after you're watching Bears and
yeah.
Eagles, you can stay on Amazon Prime and then watch Bucks and Knicks at the Garden, and that's just convenient because otherwise I was like, there's never anything on Prime, and I've never felt more stuck.
Sure.
Than when you're watching a sporting event on Prime or Max or
Peacock.
And like you just sit there and you're like, there's nowhere I can go. I got to sit here and watch this or Modern Family, I guess, and I can go and look through the entire library. I love Modern Family. I'm always down for
I was
going
gonna say,
but like,
yeah.
I would appreciate having the ability to channel surf. This is nice. I can just keep the second TV on this game, and I'll be ready to roll in an hour after the game's over.
Now you're coming around to my side of the things. Now I kind of flipped this over because that was my issue with streaming is, yeah, you have to pay more and all these things, but it's also not as convenient.
It's just not convenient.
So
No.
when everything's split up, I mean, that's why I go to Powwow Sportsbook because someone back there is changing the channels. I don't have to worry about changing the channels. Someone back there upstairs in the great, wizard's nest is changing the channels and running the board. And for once, I'm not working.
The Wizard's Nest.
Well, I don't know.
Was this like behind the scoreboard at Wrigley Field?
The Wizard of Oz.
Or something.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
that
think he was.
creepy guy.
Yeah, but I don't think he was in a nest. So I don't know why I said like a
He's
bird's
behind
nest.
a curtain. I actually,
So
they
they're
actually
changing
might
the
have
channel.
called it a nest.
Maybe. I don't know.
They called it something weird. Sorry, go ahead. I
No,
apologize to slow your
my
roll.
point is like, so the funny thing is when you actually have to start opening those apps and like Peacock, for instance, I discovered all the cool things on Peacock. There's a lot of good shows, old shows I like, movies, things like that.
Yes.
But it's like, all right, now I'm going to look through Prime and see there's some stuff on Prime here. Okay. Oh, well, step by step. Like there's some old shows I like. But it's like, okay, but then I have to think
they
about.
got Boy Meets World?
They might. That's, I think, Disney. No, ABC, right? So that's probably Disney.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So that's okay. So all these apps have stuff, but then it's like, well, I was going to watch this. Now I'm caught watching this. And then it's like, you just get totally segmented as an audience. But Billy, you're right. Prime, it's on both are on Prime. And then you also have the, is it the Bad Boy Mowers series?
Yes.
Or something. Marquette is Oklahoma today. So, that's one I'll be,
1 o'clock or 1:30 tip off.
I'm checking it right now, Billy. I should know that. I should know that. It's been a lot of stuff going on. All right. Not bad stuff, but we've been busy. And it's not like, I've been.
How
Marquette.
slow is your computer?
It's slow. I'm having issues. Okay. It's 1 o'clock on NBC.
Oh,
Are we on the big network
Suck
today?
it, streamers.
Are we on the big network today?
Hopefully not.
Am I getting Costas? I don't think I am.
Hopefully not.
Wow. Hopefully, come on.
Hopefully
It's
not.
It's still Bob
Get
Costas.
somebody from this generation.
Yeah, it's
to
just
call the game.
That's the Bad Boy Moore series that is in Chicago at not the United Center, not Wintrust Arena.
Oh, Allstate.
Not Allstate.
The Rosemont, the old Rosemont.
Not the Rosemont Horizon.
UIC's arena.
It's at Credit Union One Arena.
I drove right by that thing. That thing is in the heart of right just west of the loop.
That's
I didn't
right.
even know UIC had its own arena. I thought they just played it
it's
like
kinda fancy looking actually from the outside.
The Flames had to play somewhere, Billy.
I just thought they played it like a high school gymnasium.
I assume they would have shared some sort of facility, but yeah, no.
I thought they
had
would have
their
been
own.
playing at like a Horning Middle School in Waukesha where they had like the square backboards.
Oh, those are cool though.
Oh man, that's
The
square
worst,
no
dude.
3-point line.
No give on those things. And they had the full on doubled rim. You got
The tight rim,
You
yeah.
got no bounce on that.
Oh, Marquette needs
That's why
a
I always
looser
miss
rim.
my free throws there.
That's the reason. Sure. Marquette needs a looser rim, I would say. That's the other thing I want to say. Right now, Marquette needs some things, but it's going to be
What's Porter Moser's squad looking like?
Credit Union One Arena. They're
He's gonna be
Marquette's
back in his hometown, right in his safe
Loyola's
place
not
back
far.
in the Chicagoland area.
maybe Loyola had that memory. Obviously, I would think, the Porter Moser hype was hot that year. Marquette fans wanted him for a while, but I think this is a 1 point spread or even money at some
Ooh, okay.
institution. So
Sweet.
some people think it's right now it's Oklahoma minus a 1.5, so it should be a close game. They're 4-2, Marquette's 4-3. Now records you can't really tell much with who's playing who, but yeah, I guess maybe it's a gettable game for Marquette. So that's something going on today, and there are a lot of other good games. UConn, Illinois at the Garden. I just feel like Billy
Badgers TCU.
If you're, yeah, I saw Northwestern was playing last night at the United Center. I think what I understand we're playing all these games and it's great, but why are they at the UIC Credit One Udent Arena? And if that's the case,
the dumbest thing ever.
If that's the case, did we need to go neutral site? That's my only point. Like, you know what I mean? Did we need to? But hey, 9,000 people can fit in there, and it is what it is. So let's see if Marquette can get a win today. Badgers dominating Providence last night. I was very happy.
How does that make you feel as a Providence hater?
Great. It made me feel fantastic. As Billy said yesterday, it made me feel real excited to root for the Badgers, which I want to do. You know, I mean, obviously Marquette's my favorite.
That was probably
team.
the happiest you had ever been to root for the Badgers.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously Marquette's my favorite team, so the passion isn't the same. But anytime you get a chance to dump truck on Providence, I'm here for it. I'm like that dude carrying the casket in that meme, Billy, in that one thing.
It's one of the best memes of all time.
So little hoops today if you're into that sort of thing as well.
As I was looking here, and yesterday you mentioned, what was that? Credit
Union One Arena.
Credit Union One Arena
in Chicago.
I thought that would be the strangest name of anything that I heard. Did you know where they're? Do you know where they're playing this Raddies or Radies Invitational?
Isn't that the University of San Diego gym, the WCC team?
It is.
You would know. See, this is where we need that Big West knowledge, the Big Sky knowledge.
I mean, just on in the background.
So what about this, Billy? Tell me about this place. Tell me about this facility.
The Jenny Craig Pavilion.
Stop.
Hey, maybe Jenny's an alum.
Stop.
The Jenny Craig Pavilion.
Oh, come on. That's crazy.
I looked at it. I'm like, there's no. How did ESPN get AI'd? How did ESPN get NBA Centelled? And they're putting this on the breakdown.
We're playing
it's the Jenny Craig Pavilion.
I mean, that's what she gave in 1996. She committed 10 million, excuse me.
That's a lot back then.
7 of which
a little
was
different from 100, but yes.
Yeah.
You know what?
Still, 7 of which was used for the Jenny Craig Pavilion.
If she's doing it, you're going to put her name on it. Is she an alum or something like that?
She's still with us at 93, born August
Jenny
7th,
Craig's a legend.
1932.
You think
Genevieve Marie Craig?
She's a legend, man. For some, but wow, that does sound kind of weird, doesn't it? The pavilion too.
Also, I mean, it just tells you some people
What kind of snacks do they have?
Weight Watchers.
That's a great question, Luddy.
4 pointers. Right here, the nickname for the gymnasium is called the Slim Gym.
Oh yes! Now we're talking.
How phenomenal is that?
Now we're talking.
It also looks like
That's
a
amazing.
random house, like a small pueblo. Like it is an incredible exterior. You're like,
oh
they
yeah,
play basketball here.
You got that cool Southwest architecture
right?
going. Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's awesome. I love it.
The JCP, the Jenny Craig Pavilion. Man, we got to get Butchie on here and see if they got like Weight Watchers like
we got to ask
nutrition
him.
plans all over the facade.
That's a problem if he can't get snacks.
I'm gonna text
for him and Voss. He's with Vosters.
He's with Vosters right now.
That's gonna be a problem if Butchie can't get his snacks.
Yeah, he gets ornery.
Butch.
There's mornings he didn't have the snacks.
Hey, Butch. Do they have popcorn and other snacks at the Slim Jim? LOL. What's up, bud? Is that what you're texting him, right? I love it. Billy's checking that out. Now, the Slim Jim, thanks to Ken Palm, who always has this information, holds 7. No, it looks like they got more than 7. Wait, let me see if I'm getting the right.
It says 5,000.
Yeah,
5,100 people.
You know what? It was a
Surface
different.
is hardwood if you're wondering.
Because they have volleyball, so it was a different. So 5,100. It's not that. Oh, it's not that big. I thought. But this isn't San Diego State. This is University of San Diego.
University of San Diego, non-scholarship school, by the way.
That's Big West.
West Coast Conference.
West Coast WCC.
Independent in football. But they're
right.
FCS school.
For Badgers take on TCU, by the way.
The Toreros. Uh-oh.
By the way.
I'd say
what happened
to our friend Brian Butch. Hey, man, they got snacks at the Jenny Craig Pavilion. Holy bleep, that's awesome. We just learned about this live on air. He goes, great prep. No snacks at all, man. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, Butch.
Hey, at least they live it.
Poor Butchie.
The Jenny Craig people.
I mean, poor Butchie. You gotta run to the store. You gotta run to the store.
Get this man some In-N-Out burger for crying out loud.
Oh my God. His backpack is gonna be full of snacks. today when he walks into that.
Oh,
when he
man.
walks into
I even
the
feel
Slim
worse
Jim.
for Chris Foster's now.
Why?
Hungry Brian Butch.
No, yeah, exactly. He's gonna
And
be
they had to do an extended pregame yesterday.
right. He's gonna be so ornery.
Snacks.
It's basically
Because the
doing a
game
show.
in front was TCU Florida.
Which
that game
TCU?
didn't fully go overtime. TCU upsets the reigning defending national champs.
Huge
even
win
though
for
some
TCU.
individuals had the reigning defending national champs laying 11.5, and it looked like they were going to cover into the second half. And then they decided to just tank it. Thanks a lot, Todd Golden. What were you looking at? Instagram?
Well, I was gonna say
I just had to. Listen, Jenny Craig Pavilion. Todd Golden
40-minute game.
distracted.
Todd, it's a 40-minute game, man. It's a 40-minute game, and you got to look around every corner to get that dub. You got to just,
Todd Golden might have been distracted at Jenny Craig Pavilion. You know how to see how many
actually,
tight yoga pants was walking around there?
I was gonna say San Diego,
Oh
that
my
campus.
God.
He's got a whole new territory to cover. Just Google Todd Golden if you don't know. Yeah, that got swept under the rug real quick, didn't it? Real
Crazy
quick.
how quickly that one went
Crazy
away.
what happens when you do that.
Oh wow,
man, that is, and that was a big upset because it looked like we were getting Wisconsin, Florida.
Yeah, I was fired up for it. I was very, very excited for it. And in all honesty, I bet Butchie and Fosters were planning on that being the game they were calling today.
TCU's tough though, obviously. They showed
Man,
that yesterday.
Jamie Dixon knows what's up.
He knows he's been around this game a long time, had a lot of success at Pitt
And
back
has
in the
that
day.
guy aged a single day
Okay,
since
so-
he was coaching DeJuan Blair at Pitt?
So when
he looks like he's the
Yeah.
exact same guy.
When he had his best Pitt games, teams, obviously DeJuan Blair, but his best Pitt teams when Marquette would deal with them had Carl Krauser and Levance Fields and Levon Kendall and Aaron Gray. If you remember Billy, Aaron Gray, and his teams were always good. And he always looked like he was like straight out of an AI Bachelor contestant. Like, you know what I mean? Matinee Idol. And it looks like he hadn't aged. It's been 20 years.
Looked like you talked to Johnny Swamps about the ability for him to be able to get himself out of a couple of cases as well. I mean, looked like he'd be straight mob boss lawyer out
That's
of
a
Pitt.
great point. He's
It was
got the hair
awesome.
slicked back.
As tight as you possibly could have it.
Yeah.
And it still looks the exact same.
And when he meets with a client, the client starts talking. He goes, "Slow down. Just don't. You cannot tell me the rest of that story, there, son.
I don't need to hear any more of that. I don't need to hear any more of that, son. There you
All
go.
right.
You're good.
So-
So that was always the best part of The Sopranos. All of a sudden, right when he's like, I don't need to hear any more. Or then the therapist, she just heard everything.
Everything.
He's had good teams, though. He's had pretty good
Good
teams.
good teams. Good
And,
teams. Yeah, no doubt.
you know, they haven't really been crazy good in the Big 12, but they made the tournament 3 out of the last 4 years. And it looks like he's
Hey,
got
man,
something
the
going.
Horny Toads making the tournament, you're going to be proud of that. Like,
Yeah,
I
so-
don't think anybody's looking at that team thinking that they're going to be tremendous. Before we take a quick timeout, they're showing the celebration that the Dallas Cowboys had with their turkey. I know we've celebrated and been happy about the Packers celebration with the turkey. Did you see what former Badger Jake Ferguson did to that poor
He
bird?
put his whole hand right at the butt.
He fisted the turkey.
He did. I think everyone's trying to outdo everybody with the turkeys because I told you one of
He
my
puts his fist in the turkey and then is handing it off to each other to be able to take bites of.
Do you think it's interesting that the networks are trying to outdo themselves now with
No.
like their spread?
No,
like
it's-
last year, NBC let Leroy walk up with the whole like 19 turkey leg setup, right? Obviously, this year was like pre-pulled turkey for our boys on Fox, and Aaron Andrews was like carving it as well. But I got to tell you, and I told you this, Billy.
Joe Burrow was cutting it up for his
Cutting it
boys
up
last
from
night.
his boys. I mean, one of the most endearing things I've ever seen was the entire Packers offensive line just trying to get some of that turkey. Like these boys just wanted to eat. They didn't care about being on TV. It was Darian Kennard kind of looking over Micah when he was doing the live interview.
What's your
Just
guy over there?
checking out that turkey, trying to grab a leg. Oh, it was so funny. Rasheed Walker was in there. Who else was in there? I think Aaron Banks, Rashawn. Awesome.
Aaron Banks was in there. Nazir Stackhouse was in there. He also, there was a sweet video of him giving some food to a security guard. Said, "Hey man, you want some turkey?"
That's awesome, man.
You trying
Because
to get
they're
some
getting
of
a
this?
spread after the game anyway.
The security guard looking around like, anybody looking?
This is better than the box
Anybody
lunch
looking? Sweet, I'm
turkey
gonna take
sandwich I have coming post game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they still get that regular post game lunch or meal, or they cook like a whole?
I don't know
turkey
what the security guards are getting for their.
No, I
post-game
mean
lunch at Ford Field.
the players.
I assume they're probably getting it catered.
Probably get whatever. Yeah,
I assume they're probably getting it catered. Yeah. 877-794-1973. All right. On the other side, we meant to hear from Jordan Love on this during this segment. However, not because my frequent think she plays for the San Diego volleyball team. I wonder if Ronica Love, has played at Jenny Craig Pavilion. Might have had a couple of bumps at spikes at Jenny Craig Pavilion. Hear from Packers quarterback on the other side. It's No BS on the Game.
Want to watch No BS?
We'll do anything it takes.
They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
We have a place for it.
Just search 97.3 The Game.
I'm Patrick Claybon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 13 kicked off with a triple header with the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. 31-24, Packers win. Quarterback Jordan Love threw for 234 yards and 4 touchdowns in the victory. In Dallas, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes threw for 261 yards and 4 touchdowns, but the Cowboys pulled off the victory, beating the Chiefs 31-28. Cowboys wideout CeeDee Lamb wrapped up 7 receptions for 112 yards and a touchdown. In Baltimore, the Bengals beat the Ravens 32-14. In Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's return, he threw for 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Elsewhere, Colts quarterback Daniel Jones has been dealing with a fractured fibula. He played through the injury during the overtime loss in Week 12 to the Chiefs. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Try to set them right on.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In February of 77, 60s band leader Manfred Mann has a new band and scores a U.S. number 1 hit with a cover of Bruce Springsteen's song Blinded by the Light. In March, Foreigner released their debut album. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., driven by 2 top 10 singles, Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. Philadelphia Blue-Eyed Soul duo Hall & Oates have their first U.S. #1 with Rich Girl from their 5th album, Bigger Than the Both of Us.
Oh, you're a rich girl, and you're going too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. And you can rely on the old man's money.
Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors is released. It's their second #1 album in a row in the U.S., dominating the charts at #1 for 31 weeks. It spawns 4 top 10 singles, including the #1 Dreams.
When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
In motion, Wicks to the left. And here's the snap. Love looks downfield, lofts it left side, going for Wicks. Over the shoulder, catch is made. Is it a touchdown? A tumbling grab in the left side of the end zone. And touchdown or not? Yes, it's a touchdown. Love in the shotgun. He gets motion by Dobbs to the left. Set back to the right. Here's the snap. Love looking to throw. End zone left side.
There we go.
Touchdown. Dobbs. On 2nd and 10, back to throw. Love has time initially. Rainbows deep down the right side. And he's got
Yes!
touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson blows the top off the Lions defense. Beat Amik Robertson. Love in the shotgun, looks it over. 3 receivers left, tight end right side of the line. Here's the fake handoff. Love looks, throws to the side. Got Wicks diving for the pylon. And a touchdown. Here's the snap and 4th down. Rush is on. Love looking off his back foot. Throws to the left side.
Yes!
Tavian Wicks
Yes!
makes a leaping catch at the 30-yard line number. 1st down, Green Bay. There is your dagger.
Ding, ding. The Packers find a 31-24 victory yesterday in Ford Field, beating the Motor City Kitties for the second time in 2025. First sweep of Detroit since 2020. And in 2019 was the season in which the Packers beat the Lions, I believe, in both of their 2 games. However, did not lead for any time of the game.
That's right, Billy.
It's a unique quirk in the rivalry. They won on 2 last-second field goals. In the midst of Dan Campbell's tenure as the head coach of the Detroit Lions, they have played the Packers extremely tough, even in the first couple of years where they did not have the results that they had looked for. However, I look at 2021, those were nip and tuck games all the way through. They end up beating the Packers in week 18 when the Packers were like, hey man, we're going to play our starters for the first half of the game, win by 21 points in the first half and then sit everybody. And the Lions are like, bet, we're going to play you as tough as anybody. And it's going to be actually 21-17, I think, at halftime. And what are you going to do now? Are you going to rest the rest of your guys in a loss? And that's exactly what the Packers did. They ended up losing 2 weeks later. So there's some good waxy buildup between these two.
Absolutely.
And I think this iteration of the rivalry, which has been pretty hot if you think about it over the last decade and a half.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You could argue very, very cleanly that Detroit's been the biggest adversary of Green Bay since 2010. I know Minnesota has had an MVP in there.
Yeah, I would say Minnesota
They've had some
too.
really good teams.
Yeah.
I think Matthew Stafford and those Detroit teams were a bigger problem and a bigger rival than even the Bears and Vikings during those times.
Well, you definitely had less consistent success. Yeah, they had tougher teams.
They had tougher teams
throughout. Maybe
they had holes on those teams. Right. Dude. They had guys that people despised on those teams.
Yeah,
Ndamukong Suh. Yeah. Nick Fairley.
Fairly good one.
Some guys that were very, very easily hateable. I liked it. So I appreciate the fact of where the rivalry is right now, and it needs to continue to be discussed and continues to get pushed. That the Lions fans hate Packers fans. They hate the Green Bay Packers. I think we need a little more hate in our hearts Fourth down.
Okay.
And even though our quarterback's name is Jordan Love, maybe we find a little less love for those folks on the other side of the lake that we share. Jordan Love yesterday had no love lost for Detroit. 4 TDs in the Thanksgiving Day special and finally got that turkey leg that Fox owed him, but got those 4 TDs, a lot of which on fourth down. How big was that fourth down for you guys? Not only 3 of 3 offensively, Detroit 0 of 2 on their side of the ball. How big was that final down during the game today?
Very big. I think be able to go out there on fourth down and execute and make some big time plays is really the difference in that game right there. So, that's what it comes down to, is just going out there, executing, and those got to have it plays. And we made plays tonight, everybody.
What was the conversation between you and Matt to go for him the last time there?
Yeah, I mean, we were staying aggressive. We got a chance to go out there and ice the game, not even give them a chance to get the ball back. And we stayed aggressive, and I love it. We made plays right there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Wicks really struggled with drops last year. To make some of the catches he did today, what does that say about kind of the work he put in this offseason?
Yeah, it's all about the work. I think he obviously was challenged, and to come in and be able to make these plays that he's making this year is amazing. And he stepped up, and obviously today he had a really big day. And 2 touchdown catches. So, I'm happy for him, very proud of him, but it's all the work he's put in. He's kept his head down, kept grinding. And, I think everything is kind of paying off for him.
What'd you see in that last play? And you consider that a 50-50 ball, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's man coverage across the board. We had a route on the outside that we could have thrown. And, I kind of like the matchup on the inside, just running across. And Wicks did a good job just pushing up and breaking him across. And, you throw him up a ball that it's going to be a contested catch. A guy's draping on his back, and he did a great job of just fighting through the contact and making that catch right there. And, that's kind of what this game came down to. We knew coming in this week what type of defense they play and what it's going to take from the receivers, tight ends, everybody. And, he went out there and made that big time play to ice the game.
The fourth down touchdown to him was a 4th and 2, I think. Was that the call to take the shot, or did you see something at the line that made you think that's where you're going? What happened there?
No, that was a call we had. Something that we got a look earlier that we came back and kind of made an adjustment off that earlier call. And just like I said, another play where it's man coverage and guys got to go win. And Wicks did a good job on the route. And obviously to be able to make that catch with a safety coming at him and getting a hit on him was awesome.
It's 4th and 3. You can get a first down easily there. What is in your mentality to say, well, throw it down there in the end zone? It's either a touchdown or not.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's kind of the look we saw, early on a different play we ran. And we felt like we could take advantage if we did something a little bit different, ran a different route. And, that's what we went with. And, obviously, like you said, it's 4th down. You got to make a play anywhere. And to be able to make one in the end zone and come away with 7 right there was huge.
How big is this for the team in terms of the division race, season sweep, all of that, now that you've won?
Very big. Obviously, we know what was at stake with this game, and obviously just with every division game we have. And, in the NFC North, it's a tight race. There's a lot of good football teams in our division. So we got to come out here and handle business every time we get those ops. And, obviously we know this 3-game stretch we've had with, the Vikings and now the Lions and then going with the Bears next week. But, it's you got to come in and win these games and, try and control your own destiny by winning out.
I know when you're on the sideline in between drives, I know you're looking at the tablet review and stuff. Do you ever just sit on the bench and watch Micah?
Definitely. I try and get there and, look at the tablet. And I try and get through the stuff as fast as possible and see what the looks are. And obviously talk about any adjustments we make. But then after that, I'm trying to get up and go watch the defense, not just Micah, but everybody out there. I'm trying to stay in the game and just see what they're doing and see how the momentum's going. But I mean, he's a problem out there. It's definitely fun to watch him, and just the way he's able to go out there and dominate is awesome.
Jordan, you guys, start of the second half, the defense gets the 4th down stop, you go out and hit Christian over the top. Can you just kind of take us through that play call and the execution?
Yeah, another play that we talked about at halftime of a look we saw earlier and something we wanted to try and take advantage of. And I think it starts with, like you said, the stop the defense was able to come up with. And, that's where we've talked all season. We got to go out there and play complementary ball and obviously take advantage of the field position and the big time stop that the defense did, and to, go 2 plays and be able to, hit a big explosive play for a touchdown was, it's everything that we've been, hoping for and trying to get. And, just a great job by Christian, great job by the O-line, be able to give me that much time to be able to throw a deep one and just a big time play. But that's a complimentary ball we got to keep trying to stack and keep building upon.
I asked you about consistency on Tuesday and kind of the lack of it. So how'd you get there today? I mean, you've been kind of a slog for like the last couple of months, and today you guys have more you can get on that sort of.
Yeah, it's all about guys going out there and making plays. That's what we always say. To be consistent, you got to go out there and make plays, win your matchups, win your one-on-ones, and everybody did that. O-line did a great job, pass protection all day. And guys went out there and made plays. Like I said, we knew what type of game it was going to be, what the type of style of defense they want to play. And, we were able to go out there and make plays. But that's how you become consistent, is just going out there and making play after play, drive in, drive out.
Run game look any better to you the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think today was a game where we were going to have to pass it. We're going to have to win a game in the air. Like I said, they're a team that's going to load the box and try and take away that run, and they do a good job at it. And, I think run game, there was some good stuff there, but going against that style of defense, you got to win sometimes with the pass. That's what we did.
In terms of the play before to Watson, was that anything similar to what you do Wicks for the completion, or completely different play?
It was a different play. He was more running a basic across the middle. But, another one of those plays, like I said, where it's a contested catch, guy on your back, and got to find a way to make it a play. And the DB did a good job, being able to play through his hands and break it up. But, it was a little bit of a different route.
What's that? Can you describe the feeling of playing that pass to Wicks and won the game?
It's awesome. It's a great feeling. Obviously, game on the line right there, 4th down. Got to have a play and to be able to throw one up. And for him just to make that catch, it's phenomenal. But it's awesome to be able to, put the game away right there on a got to have it play is something that, you in the game there's going to be opportunities and there's going to be moments where you got to make big time plays. And that was a big time play.
You've been watching a lot of these games. I think we had fourth quarter comebacks coming into this. Where's that come from? Is that something that you're born with? Where does that late game success come from?
It's just staying the course. In the game that in the NFL, something I feel like I've learned is all these games come down to the last couple plays, last couple minutes in the game. And that's when you got to be at your best to be able to go out there and put these games away. And like I said, it's not just me, it's everybody, going out there and making those plays when it matters most. And, we've had moments where we've gone out there and we haven't made those plays before. And I think from those moments you learn, you grow, you find that confidence to just go out there and keep going. Play in, play out, and find ways to go out there and win. But if you want to win, you got to make those plays and got to go out there and earn the right to win.
Have you ever seen a big man jump on a ball like Rashid did on the all?
Man, that was great by him. But that was, it's one of those plays where the ball comes out and it happens so fast where we always talk about as the O-line covering downfield and guys running to the ball because you never know when the ball's going to come out. Things happen, but for Sheed, I know he's an athlete and probably played maybe running back in the day, but to be able to get on that ball and secure it was, it obviously saved us points right there.
Jordan, did you see anything from Matt this week that said, I'm going to go for it on 4th downs all the way through? I'm going to match Dan Campbell play his style. Did he make that clear to you during the week, or
No, we've talked. Matt wanted to definitely stay aggressive in this game, and we had conversations all week. Like I said, that it's going to come down to the pass game. We got to go win it in the air, and I think it's just the confidence he has in everybody on the offense to be able to go out there and make those plays. And it's one of those games you got to be aggressive. You got to stay aggressive to go win it because we know. It's a really good offense on the other side of the ball, and you want to stay away from trying to give them the ball back. But I love the mindset to be aggressive right there.
You mentioned 4th down being a difference. How about time to throw? You've had time to throw often, and Jared Goff did not.
Yeah, that's I think that's always a difference maker in games. That's a big credit to our O-line. Battling in there, giving me plenty of time back there to be able to make those throws and be able to see what the defense is doing. But obviously there's a really good D-line on that side, and it's a big time performance by them, and really the reason why we were able to go out there and do what we did.
Love that from Jordan Love, not only because he gives credit to the offensive line at the back half of that, which is the most important answer out of all of the conversation with the quarterback yesterday, but you hear and see this offensive line took a lot of arrows. They got a lot of arrows thrown their way, and justifiably so. They had some bad misses, right? Like there were some real issues there. However, it got better yesterday. I thought it was much, much better yesterday. And it was clear and evident that they were a factor in the game yesterday. And, Jordan Love enjoyed it, celebrating. I know we were watching the video in the locker room after. Matt LaFleur was a little late going and joining Larry McCarron after the game.
A little late because he had a lot to say.
Did a phenomenal job being able to hold off and hold. Coach is almost here. Hold on, Chandra. Coach is almost here.
MVP performance by Chandra.
You were right. You were running some incredible interference back there. Directing traffic.
Doing the job. We just doing the job. That's part of the process, and we got through it all. But
when there's a big win, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are going to want to pull the coach. There's a lot of people that are going to be having to talk to the coach. And in a game like that, you're very much able to celebrate, and they did after the game. You want to feel pretty old here, Armen?
Yeah, I already do, so we might as well just lay it on me.
Got a video here that the NFL posted of
the Walter Stanley video? Oh, no, not that one.
What's Walter Stanley?
That was he had the Thanksgiving Day return for the Packers to beat the Lions in 86. Great video if you want to check it out.
I definitely should be watching that one.
Yeah.
No, this one is of Haley Jade.
Oh my gosh, that's Eminem's daughter.
Eminem's daughter.
I think she's got kids now, right?
Holding
she's married and
her son
right
in the suite yesterday.
Watching Grandpa
M.
Crazy dude.
Come up from the stage and rip it up during the halftime show yesterday.
We felt old when we saw him dancing with her at her wedding. Remember that? So some nice looking finance bro type.
I'm not that much older than Haley Jade, so like the feeling old, and I have 2 kids, so maybe that would be the time that I'd feel old.
It's crazy because
I still see Eminem, and I'm like, God, my man's doing it. He's still in his prime.
Sure,
that's a grandpa up there.
It is a grandpa. Now he's not that old. What is he, 50 or something like that?
He's still losing
53?
himself somewhere.
That's Gramps up there.
It is wild to see, till I collapse.
He throws up mom's spaghetti now. It's way sadder than it was back in the day.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, Grandpa might be serving mom's spaghetti to the grandson when he's babysitting. That's like, you think when he's like, mom's spaghetti. On the surface, you look calm and ready. He's like, and it's like, you compare like what most kids.
Granddaddy did it already. He could be firing some stuff out. That'd be awesome.
Now, when you're in Detroit, you're babysitting, and I think most kids that age are maybe watching Miss Rachel, but not watching Grandpa M throwing down some big performances like back in the 2000s at MTV.
Grandpa M
at Total Request Live,
and he was on one.
On one.
Jack White, awesome. Watching the Jack White halftime show with Drew Olson, way better.
Oh yeah,
like being in there with somebody that appreciates what Jack White was doing yesterday.
Sure.
Because there were a lot of people online yesterday like, this Jack White guy, he's pretty good. And then the people that like, that kind of music and rock music are like, welcome to the 21st century. My man kind of shreds. To have Drew be able to enjoy that and be able to enjoy it next to Drew Olson with somebody that was loving all the guitar playing rips.
Right.
That was awesome. Eminem comes up, elevates it through the roof.
Oh, it's nuts. And I know my man, John Kuhn, who likes M a lot, had the front row seat.
He had to have been
he was
losing
excited.
himself.
He said that was the best halftime show. I think he tweeted that. So, hey, pretty cool. And congrats to Haley and son. I don't know his name, but
yeah, you're right.
Awesome.
Definitely looking at the Instagram.
Elliot Marshall.
Total finance bro.
Pretty
total
awesome.
Finance bro that she's married.
The
That
guy?
seemed like it, yeah. Seemed like
yeah.
it. It's pretty awesome, though, that you're going to grow up and your grandpa's Eminem.
No, he's not a finance bro. He's just a trust fund kid.
Hey, listen, so is Haley.
Yeah. No kidding.
I mean, what's Eminem's net worth?
I don't think she grew up on 8 Mile, Eddie. I don't think she saw. I don't think she saw a whole lot of the
down in Caledonia
streets. Yeah, I don't think she had 7 Mile.
Reference.
877-794-1973. We're here until 10. That's when D&D has an abbreviated version of their spectacular. That comes up in about 20 minutes from right now. We're back before then with our closing ceremonies. There's no BS on the game.
Women wave your pantyhose, sing the chorus, and it goes. I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.
Stay tuned.
You do like to grab attention.
No BS will be back in just a moment.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians, they have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, the number one rock star in the world, had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, they knew what I was going to do on stage. But off stage, they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Don't talk to me about no Kyle Kuzma.
It's the greatest story in sports.
Star dropping straight back. Hit as he throws, has the ball. It is a touchdown.
I'm Doug Russell, and this is Tales from 1265, an insider's look at football's most storied franchise. A franchise that has had its dynasties.
This is the first Super Bowl trophy, and it's something Green Bay can keep. We're going to have a new trophy each year.
And its rebirths.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
I realize I'm a Green Bay Packer now, and maybe I can prove that I am worth the first-round pick next year, but just got to be patient.
But I was really impressed with the coaching staff, with the whole organization, and with the direction the team is going. I think they have a total commitment to winning.
Tales from 1265 is presented by Nicolay Law, your local award-winning injury lawyers. If you've been injured, get Nicolay, Wisconsin's winning team of lawyers that will get you back in the game. Tales from 1265 is a production of iHeartRadio Podcasts and is available on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Another three. Lopez 6 in 2 straight games. I see you, big fella. He pulls Drummond away and hits his third three-pointer. Lopez works against Cornette. Yes, he does.
It was an incredible season. And again, I think it was just the beginning of something big. Nobody expected us to be here, and so we just want to keep focusing on ourselves and build that momentum. There's a special group here. It's a unique feeling. We defied a lot of expectations. I think this is definitely the start of something special for the Milwaukee Bucks.
2 years later.
Holiday into the lane for Lopez. What a night for Brooks Lopez. And Federico to Holiday. Holiday the drive finds Lopez coming and slamming. Brooks Lopez with authority. And the Bucks go up by 3. Booker turns, shoots, fires. Shot won't go. Tucker the rebound. And that'll do it. It's over. The Bucks have done it. The long wait has ended after a half century. The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions once again.
So baby, dry your eyes, save all the tears you cry. Oh, that's what dreams are made of. Oh, baby, we belong in a world that must be strong. Oh, that's what dreams are made of.
I've won the championship. They haven't.
And she keeps on singing, girls just wanna have fun at the top of her lungs. Don't even know she about to wreck someone. And boy, I'm in trouble now.
I wonder if that's Micah Parsons just staring, not knowing that he's about to wreck someone's day.
Oh, he
knowing
knows. They don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. He does know that he's about to. It's the 877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game. That's Luddy. I'm Billy. Armen Sarian is right there, feverishly digging through the YouTube comments to find our friend CJ.
You know, we have one segment left here, Billy, and we've had a lot of great listeners today checking in with us as they're out and about in their Black Friday, appreciating that we're on live, and we appreciate being able to be on live, talking to you guys and checking in and finding us. So I want to pay off some of these comments. CJ, were we not all in our living rooms yesterday looking like Josh Wiley on that last play to ice the game? Big first down. Electric.
That was a good celebration by Wiley. I don't know if we were all doing that, but I know you in
jumping around. Just
Well, you back here were saying, why are we not getting Josh Wiley more touches?
Well, I just thought it'd be nice. This morning I was thinking, we should. The Musgrave catch was great, and I was like, maybe we can get Wiley more involved. I kind of like him. I'm not saying force feed Wiley. That was big. We needed that. I'm not saying force feed Josh Wiley, but I'd like to see him do some stuff.
You want to see him get the rock a little bit. I like that.
But I'm not saying force feed him. I just like that'd be good to get him.
He was really, really good in the run game yesterday. Really good in the run game.
Yeah.
Paul said, no, I was in the dining room in Illinois eating my turkey dinner with my in-laws full of Bears fans. Was it a good feeling?
Paul. I'm sorry, Paul.
I don't know if it was as good of a feeling as you had right there.
Well, probably but he said he was eating. They weren't all watching. It'd be better feeling if you got to brag as you're watching it. It sounds like he was a little salty. He didn't get to go watch the game.
Oh, see, I thought it was funnier because he's like, I got to sit with a bunch of Bears fans, and all they could do was eat our dinner in the dining room because they're like, I'm not watching the Packers win this game.
Well, see, the thing is, Bears fans still are, buying into that false notion that they're the best team in the division, and they're technically in first place today until they play today, which I expect them to lose. And when they do, they'll be in second place. And
that's how that works.
And then they're going to stop feeling good about themselves when they lose out the rest of the year.
See, and I haven't heard a ton of Bears fans being super chesty though, talking like they are the best team in the league.
Well, I
heard
see
a lot
Twitter,
more downplaying their successes and knowing what potentially is behind door number 2.
Sure.
I like the fact though that we get two sides of the story where, to your point, you have some that are like, we might be the best team in the NFC. Sorry, Los Angeles. Who have you guys played? All these teams in your division? We've been beating all these teams that are outside of our division. Uncommon opponents, some would say even more impressive, right? So there are some that are trying to talk up the accomplishments. The other that are like, Pittsburgh's the only team with a winning record that we've beaten, and they had Mason Rudolph starting at quarterback. Outside of the month of December, no chance for Rudolph to guide you to a victory. So different deal there. I'm with you. I expect the Bears to catch a fat L today. I also expect the Eagles to win and cover at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, which, we don't always fire in a parlay of the day, but there was a little Turkey Day celebration on a parlay buffet that we fired in there today. Did you remember what we told everybody on Wednesday to play, Armen? I think it was Packers +3.
I don't.
I think it was Cowboys +3.
Yes.
And I think it was Bengals
Bengals.
+7.
That's right. Sorry,
it's
Billy.
Interesting that all three of those
nailed it. You nailed it, Billy. It's like
all three of those
you're finding edges all over the place, which I like. You have anything for me today? Because I might be able to take a trip downtown and put in some plays today. Besides all my Ken Palm plays that I'm always firing in there.
Well, listen. Lane Kiffin's 4-1 straight up against Mississippi State.
All right.
As the Egg Bowl is happening coming up here in about an hour and 12 minutes from right now.
The decision's coming tomorrow.
So
are we going to be distracted by that? And when I say we, I mean Ole Miss. Like, is that going to be part of it? Or will he be motivated by it and show them?
I think they celebrate the absolute hell out of his last game coaching the Ole Miss Rebels.
Oh, okay.
And beat the piss out of the Mississippi State.
Because the only concern I have
Bulldogs
is
are going to be a bad day to be a cowbell, bad day to be a Bulldog.
Right.
Give me the Rebels running wild
and
on the Mississippi State Bulldogs here today in the Egg Bowl.
And they're 7.5-point favorites. My only concern is that, like,
7 earlier
if
today,
he truly has, I'll buy the half point. I don't care. If he truly has 1 foot out the door, would that distract him as the team? Like, you know what I mean? But I don't know if I think he's staying, actually, Billy. I really do.
Oh, I think he's gone. But I also think the part of it is, Armen, aren't most of the players?
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter.
Like, I mean, and now in
We're all
today's day and age,
mercenaries.
and especially Kiffin's team probably more than others because he built his team and his roster through the portal. They're pretty portal based. Like their quarterback was playing at Grand Valley State last year in Division II. They watched, or Ferris State, sorry, in Division II. They watched the highlights and they're like, hold on, we need this cat.
Sure.
Call him and get him on campus tomorrow. And
yes.
they flew him down, signed him to an NIL check, and he ended up saving their season because he was the backup quarterback. And in the middle of whatever it was, game 3 or 4, came in and he hasn't stopped playing Trinidad Chambliss as their starting quarterback. So, like, I don't know that it's as big of a deal. I think more of it is Lane Kiffin, celebrate where your feet are. Enjoying the moment.
The moment, like those things he tweets out, those book pages.
All of those book pages.
The proverb or whatever.
He's reading every single one of those to those boys as they're getting on that bus over to Starkville. Give me the Rebels to roll over. And in another rivalry game later on tonight, if you don't get down there for the Egg Bowl, I love the Aggies tonight.
Yeah, you told me that. You like them a lot against Texas. You don't think there's going to be any Arch Manning magic? They're 2.5-point favorites. A&M is, by the way.
A&M is a 2.5-point favorite. A&M wins. They lock themselves into the SEC championship game. Texas needs to win the game to have a chance to go to the college football playoff. Texas barely beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
Again, barely beat Arkansas.
Yeah. And this is not, this is not the Arkansas that's, well, I don't know when they are good, but this is not the good Arkansas.
They were calling no Hawks this year for 2 dubs for formerly Sam Pittman's squad. The Razorbacks were horrible this year, 2-9, and Texas had to battle with them for 4 quarters. Even though Texas A&M was down 30-3 at home a couple of weeks ago, give me the Aggies going to Texas and beating the Texas Longhorns in Austin and moving on to the SEC title.
Nice. I like that one, Billy.
So if you're keeping
great
track,
slate of football today. We're thinking, a lot of people are just thinking NFL, Bears, Eagles. There's a lot of great college football on today. I think we have, and Iowa, Nebraska, of course. What am I thinking? Iowa, Nebraska's on at 11 o'clock in an hour as well.
Wow.
And I'm sure everyone's going to want to watch. And I got an Indiana, Purdue, my play, Billy. I like Indiana. Minus 10,000 on the money line. I love that pick.
Oh, you're not going to lay the 28.5?
No, money line. I like money line on Indiana minus 10,000. No, yeah, 28.5 is a lot of wood, but Indiana should pound up poor Purdue.
As Badgers fans, are we rooting for teams that are 5-6 for them to lose?
I
for
thought
them
about
to be
that.
5-7 for. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to do math here at this point.
If you want to go to a bowl
not going
game,
well.
you would be doing that, right, Billy? And you'd be trying to dive deep into those APR scores. Is that like the test scores?
GPA.
I had a sheet on here on my likes, but it is so far down the list because I liked so many videos of Lions fans walking out of Ford Field yesterday.
I love that.
I just got to keep
DM me those.
scrolling all the way down here. It's somewhere in
and
here.
unencrypt them, please, when you send them to me. Thank you.
No, you can't
Yeah, I don't know why all my good stuff is encrypted to you.
Figure it out, Elon. Figure out this Twitter. I need my DMs very importantly for this job that we do, not for the weird stuff you're thinking about. I need to be able to DM these guys. Please figure it out.
All right, I'm not going to be able to get it. I'll get you these 2, though, on the way out. Dan Orlowski, 33 was all over the field yesterday for Green Bay's defense. Again, downhill in the run, filling multiple times. Maybe none bigger than his 3rd and 3 stop to force a 4th and 3 right before Jamison Williams drops the ball, keeps it at a 10-point game. Aggers win 31-24 yesterday at Ford Field. And after the Bears lose today to the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field, in a matter of kickoffs in about 4 hours from right now. So call it 7.5 hours from right now. The Green Bay Packers will be in first place in the NFC North, and all will be right once again with the world.
Yes.
Have a phenomenal holiday weekend. Enjoy some time with your family. Enjoy the Badgers beating the Golden Gophers tomorrow, and join me and Lance Allen after the game on the Badger Football Postgame Show. Luddy, talk to you coming up. Armen, great work.
Thank you, buddy.
We'll see you on